we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
Another one.
I ain't gonna kill you.
Another one.
We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phony.
Please don't take me out the gal.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys.
You and them motherfucker twin. Bad baby.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah.
You back, twin. You back, twin. Right here, motherfucker. Make sure y'all can hear me. If I do anything, let me make sure y'all can hear me shit. Do a mic shit. Talk my shit in. Mic check, mic check. Yeah, y'all can hear me. Alright, you back, check. Hold on, put these motherfucker out. Man, we cannot finish this series for nothing, bro. Like, for real. Everything be happening. They banned me off goddamn live. They said it was a gun, something violent. Oh, matter of fact, I need to check this shit before I do anything. Make sure we good and we ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. These folks be tripping. These folks be tripping on YouTube. If I do anything, let me make sure the little not for kids shit up was on. Yo, chat, but they be goddamn blocking me and shit, bro. Like they said it was a gun in the video. I guess we did a freestyle. Somebody recommended freestyle yesterday. That motherfucker was on some other shit, twin.
At Smov BTSS.
Twin, what's happening?
Okay, the goat back LFG.
We back live, baby. I gotta go check this, make sure. Damn, they won't let me see it. Hello, twin. Hello. No, where is it? The no kid shit. That's what I need to look at. Make sure before we get started, chat. That motherfucker be trimming. I probably need to do it on my phone, to be honest. I can't find it. How the fuck we find this shit? No, I can't find this shit. Fuck it. I ain't about to goddamn worry about it. But yeah. Power went out the other day. Other stream, stopped my stream. These folks told me I violated. I had to appeal that shit just to get back on live, bro. They said it was a gun in the video or something like that. That YouTube don't tolerate that. I like, but ain't no goddamn, we ain't shot no guns in the live yesterday. What they got to? You know what I'm saying? These folks don't want to see me goddamn win, twin. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure. I gotta find my live, though. How you find live on the phone? Oh, yeah, this should be it. Nope,
At Smov BTSS. Said. Settings.
You said settings? Let me go there. Man, I went to settings, bro. I'm on settings right now. Default. That shit ain't popping up. I thought I made sure this. Oh shit, I can't access this shit. Do I got all the way settings or this right here? Bro, this let me goddamn go to it. God damn. I don't know, bro. Shout out to the 13 people in here. We about to get started though. I gotta do this, make sure this shit straight first. I don't want to be banned again and be off. And I can't live stream for 2 weeks. But we are gonna finish the Tupac and Biggie session, and we're gonna do NWA, and we're gonna do we might do Gucci and T.I. Don't be real, not Gucci and T.I., but Gucci and Jeezy though. You know what I'm saying? Read some real Atlanta shit. You know what I'm talking about? See the beat behind it. See what the detail, what really going on. You know it been over with. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? You gotta go back. I don't know where it's at, twin. We just gonna have to thug it out tonight. You gonna thug it out?
Hilton saying that Pac would sleep
We
with
gotta
her
finish.
too if he wanted
Hold
to.
on, 9 versus Biggie. Hold on, twin. We ain't gonna walk past that shit like we just didn't see that shit. Hold on, twin. What the fuck? Versus 9 versus Jeezy versus Wu-Tang. God damn, they all beefing? What the fuck? I thought they all eco. I'm damn confused, bro. Y'all had a lot of shit going on tonight.
Oh my God!
Yo.
Puffy is on the top of Pac's kill list. This whole song is basically a warning
At
and a
Smov
death threat.
BTSS. Said. You might have to restart and do it.
Oh, twin. God damn, gotta restart. Man, you about to make me double check my shit, bro. Y'all, this shit. I gotta be weird, 'cause I got a strike on my fucking channel, bro. But my shit should be no kids, 'cause like my shit I had to do all my shorts like that. Why won't let me see? Why you can't look at your live on the phone though? It won't let me look at this shit. I'm going to content. Content. What's my recent live? Type live. Fly. It just got my old lives. It don't got my new one. You gonna make me goddamn, but you goddamn where the fuck I mute this shit. Ain't gonna lie to me. I appreciate you, bro, my brother. Y'all make sure y'all follow my brother, man. Hold on, I'm gonna type his name in the chat. Y'all make sure y'all follow him. And y'all make sure y'all go follow his. Y'all love what I do. You'll love what he do too, 'cause he do the same shit I do. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Bro, we edit this shit. This description just been. I don't know what the fuck we just did. I don't know, so we fucked up. Shit, I don't know what that shit do. Damn, man. Hello? I ain't gonna worry about shit. It is what it is, chat. But make sure y'all follow my boy. Hold on, I'm gonna type his name in. Y'all make sure y'all follow my boy. Whoever subscribe to him, I'm gonna give you a shout out, bro. Y'all subscribe to my boy. I'm gonna type his name in. Hey, y'all let me know y'all sub to him, so I can give y'all a shout out. If y'all sub to him, did right. You come back in the chat and say sub. My boy got a long ass name, but I don't know what I'm saying.
Me. Said. Sub to Smug BTTS.
A day later, on January 13th,
said,
Pac recorded the
Facts, show
song
me
He
some
vs.
love,
She
LOL,
with the
thanks,
rapper
bro.
Storm.
Yeah, you know you do, bro.
It contains shots at Biggie, Puffy, Lil Kim, Da Brat, Lil Sean, and LL Cool J.
LL Cool,
Again, the whole reason why Pac went at L is because of the song I Shot Ya, which was a response to Biggie's Who Shot Ya. Pac thought LL was going at him too, so that's why he kept sending shots at him in response. But his main targets were of course the people associated to Bad Boy.
Now when I say pig, you say B.I.G. When I say bad boy killer, then you say me. When I say puffy, it's a puffy stream. Word of my life.
Word of my life.
Puffy Big's wife.
Calling
He gonna
Biggie a
double that
pig
shit,
and Puffy a punk while also bragging about sleeping with Biggie's wife, Faith Evans. They also had lines for Lil Kim and Da Brat.
Now I've been told that little Kim thinks she hot.
She not.
Better get that attitude adjusted for one mash your spot.
Plus now the Brad's tripping.
Must want an ass whipping.
We be the first ones to fuck with you and bad boy.
This was a direct response to Da Brat's line in Total song No One Else.
The decoy watch Brad kill and destroy you the last
Oh,
one.
shit, I don't like Brad now.
Bad boy.
We be the first ones to fuck with you and bad boy. Busters through Brooklyn, look at my shots to Queens. Cause I'm looking for Lil Sean, that bitch ass fiend.
Lil Sean was one of the people that were present during the Quad Studio shooting, and the only person who tried to help him, according
That boy
to
got that
Tupac
barber shop
himself.
here.
The only
You go
one
to the
that
barber
shed
shop back
tears
in
for
the
him.
day? In the magazine?
But in the Vibe
Yeah,
interview,
one
he
of them
called
motherfuckers
Pac
good.
stupid and a liar for saying that he was crying the whole time.
Shout out to the 21
So
people
that's
here.
why he
Appreciate
kept
y'all.
dissing Sean.
I make sure y'all sub to my boy, sub to my boy.
Come to California, we don't
Let me
want
know
no
y'all sub so I can give y'all a special shout out.
On January 14th, the previously mentioned New York Times article with Pac talking about his relationship with Faith Evans came out and brought back quite a bit of emotions for Biggie, since he kept learning new things about his wife's relationship with his biggest enemy. Things that she kept a secret from him.
Damn.
Faith never told him that she was actually that close with Pac, that she
close
would
to
buy
Pac?
him trunks full of gifts. Big just couldn't catch a break. Pac would always reopen his wounds by making fun of him and his wife in the media. In magazines, in newspapers, on the radio, on TV. He couldn't escape it. What made it even
Get
worse
bad
is
as a
that the only
motherfucker.
times he
Calm
would
as a
speak to
motherfucker
her,
be.
he would catch her in lies, as she was only trickle-truthing him. This was also around the time Faith saw the video to Get Money, where she's getting dissed. Faith got mad when she saw the video, and they sent each other messages to talk about it. Cause they had went low contact after she caught him cheating, and then they went no contact after the incident with Pac happened. Biggie called Faith to come visit him in New Orleans, so that they can talk it out. They had an argument and fight in winter '96, which somehow led to Faith's pregnancy. Biggie's son Christopher Jordan Wallace, who was born 9 months later on October 29th. At the time, people were speculating if the kid might have been Tupac's. But that would have been impossible
He
since the
gotta be
two
like
never saw
30
each
now.
other after November '95. Big and Faith agreed to
he's 96.
co-parent their child
He's born
once
96.
he's born, but their relationship never recovered.
At Astro
Tupac
Astroster.
ruined
Astro
Big's marriage,
said-
regardless of Big believing his claims of sleeping with his wife.
What's up, twin?
The trust and spark was gone.
Said you coming through. Shout out to
Big
13
thought of the
13 people in, my
possibility
bad.
that she might have cheated on him as revenge for him cheating with Lil Kim and Charlie Baltimore.
No, I'm saying.
But according to Lil C's,
I mean, you
he
cheat on her
did
first,
later
then she cheat on
believe
you,
Faith's
mad.
version of the story, that she didn't sleep with him. But the gossip on the streets made it impossible for him to just move on and to continue being all lovey-dovey with her. Nobody
That's Smoke
believed
BTSS.
Faith's side of the story, except
Said,
Big. But
Lil
Big
Bro, what
also
it do?
said that he always believed that
brother's in
Pac
here,
is
man.
the realest guy in the industry. It wasn't just anyone making those claims. Things just couldn't go back to how they were. The image of Big and Faith being hip-hop's dream
Shout out to the
couple was
42
crushed.
people here. The 43
And
people.
Big
Appreciate
was
y'all.
seen
Y'all
as the
turn up,
weak
baby.
man
Come on,
who
we
wifed
just
up
came
a
back
promiscuous
already.
cheater that would
What I'm
open her
talking about.
legs even for his biggest enemies, and then come back to play the innocent and
At
faithful wife.
Astro
So he couldn't stay
Said,
with her, even if
At
Pac
Smug
was a liar.
BTSS none just chillin'.
Pac had successfully convinced the entire world that he slept with
You know we
Biggie's wife.
appreciate you, brother.
And the baby that was on the way made things 10 times more complicated. So in the end,
I
they
should sleep
decided to
Pop
stay
and Britney at the
friends.
same time.
But
Like,
they
that
wanted
shit,
to stay
I
in
don't know.
separate places.
Say Pop, baby.
With Faith
We need to do a
promising
DNA
him that
test,
she'll
shit.
stay faithful and focus on the kids.
Astro.
Big, on the other hand, continued to see other women.
Faith
They
definitely was
didn't
messing
know if they
around
wanted
with
to get
Tupac.
divorced
That's what I'm
yet.
saying.
The media
Then-
and
hold on.
fans continued to bomb.
Yeah, I don't know if she pregnant and shit with Biggie baby, but they ain't been sleeping with each other. She been gone hotel to hotel, nigga to nigga. You know what I'm saying? It might be Pop baby, but I don't know, bro. If it ain't Pop baby, it one of them motherfuckers.
At Astro
You know
Astosder.
what I'm saying?
bombard
Said,
them with questions,
I appreciate
being a
both of your
nuisance
100
during her
points.
entire pregnancy.
Appreciate you, twin.
Press the media was like on some, all right, she stopped with Big, she stopped with Tupac. I'm not no different than any other. You know, everybody has a temper. He say he, okay, he say he, I asked him, no, all right. I can't get to ask him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, okay, well, it's all up to me. Am I going to hate her for the rest of her life thinking that she did something? Or am I just going to be a man about the situation? If you didn't, you can't do it no more. You know what I'm saying? And let's just go on with our lives. Or am I going to say, if you did it, I hate you, I'll never speak to you again. I'm not that type of person. I hold grudges, but I can't hate nobody.
Why you talking white?
That's just not in my nature.
It's just in my nature to love you. I can't hate you, cause it's not in my nature to hate you.
Personally, I was angry.
I
I know that I was at the hospital with his mom when he had got shot in that studio. And why are you doing that?
Later on, in the September 96 issue of the Vibe magazine, Biggie said, people was like, when she stopped effing with Big, she started effing with Tupac. And Big started effing with Lil' Kim. That's the summary of the Biggie Smalls Faith ish right there. But we wasn't effing with each other way before the rumors popped off. I married her after knowing her for 8 days, and I was happy. That was my baby.
At the same time, us being so spontaneous, we did it backwards, you know? Regardless, we both admit, maybe she may not admit it, but I admit it. Instead of me meeting you so quick and marrying you and getting learning to know you, I should have learned to know you and then married you. All the time we was together, we was learning to know each other. She found out things about me she ain't like. I found out things about how we ain't like it. Eventually the relationship kind of dissolved. She showing we ain't together right now, but we tight. We still gonna be friends. I love her, you know what I'm saying? She love me. We love our son, and we gonna always love our kids, and we gonna do whatever we gotta do. Who knows? 10 years from now, we might get back together.
Big implied that the marriage failing was partly his fault. It would have happened regardless of Pac's involvement. On January 18th, Pac then recorded the song This Life I Lead, where he once again calls himself a bad boy killer.
Bad boy killer.
That nigga don't miss.
On January 19th, Tupac and the Outlaws went to the House of Blues to see the rap group Onyx perform. There they met the rapper Keith Murray, the guy who was not only on the first version of Who Shot Ya, but also on LL Cool J's I Shot Ya, and also on the remix, of course. Pac wanted to know if they were dissing him. Pac's homie Big Syke was actually the one that approached him, while Onyx was performing on stage. Fred Rose Stars saw Pac and Keith Murray come face to face, and the two started yelling at each other. Keith denied that Pac was their target. Biggie unknowingly caused a lot of conflicts between Pac and various rappers from the East Coast, just with one song alone. That's how powerful and controversial it was. Cause again, I Shot Ya was a response to Who Shot Ya. But they made peace that day, and Pac was definitely relieved. Cause he never really wanted to go to war with LL Cool J, but he still saw everyone on I Shot Ya as potential enemies. That included Prodigy from Mobb Deep, Foxy Brown from Nas's group The Firm, and everyone else who was in that music video. Cause the song was actually supposed to be something like a New York anthem, with all the different cliques coming together. And Pac initially thought that all the cliques from New York were coming together to diss him, and to side with Biggie during the East Coast-West Coast war. Cause Pac had become the face of the West Coast and Biggie the face of the East Coast. So he thought I Shot Ya was a part 2 to Big's Who Shot Ya. But Keith
I said
Murray
75
denied it and
75
prevented
people in
it
here.
from
I appreciate y'all,
escalating
though.
any further. Cause as you could hear on the song NY87, Pac was in F New York mode. And he was ready to diss everybody if he had to.
Pac get out of jail, y'all scared.
Got some for your motherfucking ass.
Hey, little boy, shoot. Hold on, Jesus, he's out.
Fuck your family, fuck your kids, fuck it. I'm real hard. I'm y'all outlaw.
I see why my daddy was obsessed.
Bad boy killer.
Make me what, bend down and she get my nose ring. She get my nose ring back, chick. That one blue mall have no ring bandana up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna write Thug Life on
On the song Never Call You B Again, which he recorded 12 days later on January 31st, he mentioned his beef with the East Coast. He explicitly said East Coast, cause he was ready to take on everybody.
Can't get too close, my enemies, they see ghosts, they envy me. Plus we've been beefing with the East Coast, who got these.
That same day, he recorded the song Breathing, where he said,
he can't tell me over like pop to me, so you feel me? That drive, that my opinion, shit. I don't know about y'all.
the mission was to end the careers of his enemies on the East Coast, to outsell everyone in the game with his upcoming double album, while dropping the biggest diss records ever. He's murdering his competition, making him the last man standing, or in other words, the last man breathing. The second verse was unfinished, but he still mentioned Bad Boy and them preying on his downfall.
I fuck a bitch like I'm psychotic. I think that's what they tell me. Fuck around, I don't fight fair. Got every nigga signed a bad boy, praying that I die. Some are prophesied, homicide.
I know what I'm doing. I'm going to the gym. I'm listening to the whole album, chat. I'm coming back. I'm know
In the
every goddamn
February
song.
96 issue of the Vibe magazine, it seemed like Pac was trying to de-escalate the situation between him and Biggie. He was asked about the rumors of him sleeping with Faith Evans, to which Pac responded, "Me and Faith don't have no problems." When asked about their relationship beyond the studio, he replied, "I ain't gonna answer that ish, man. You know I don't kiss and tell." The whole energy he had on the first version of Hit 'Em Up somehow disappeared. Cause on that song he was actually bragging about it. He didn't want to put out any of the songs he made where he mentions Big's wife. And in interviews he was only implying it indirectly, trying to look like a serious businessman who's too classy to brag about it. Only dropping hints and comments with double meanings behind them, so that the fans and the media could continue speculating. Only saying things like, Faith is my girl, I treated her good, and we don't have any problems. In the studio, he was way more reckless, saying things like, I effed your wife. But those tapes didn't come out yet. He was holding them back and waiting for Biggie's next move. Things changed quickly after hearing the response from Biggie. Cause on February 3rd, they released the remix to Junior Mafia's hit single Get Money, which includes shots at Tupac. And this song was actually genius. When Biggie's wife, Faith Evans, came back to New York after spending time with Tupac, and after Big and Faith more or less reconciled in winter '96, she told Big about the beat Pac played for her, so that Big can prepare himself for what Pac has planned and then sabotage him. In the studio, Pac was hyping the beat up, saying that it'll be one of his biggest songs on his album. Lance on Rivera, DJ Enough, and Biggie quickly recognized the sample Faith was talking about, the one Johnny J used for Hit 'Em Up. Cause again, Pac played it for her when they were in the studio together. And the sample was Don't Look Any Further, which they decided to use before Pac to sabotage him. They produced a similar beat to what Faith described, and used it for the Get Money remix. Cause they knew that Pac's album was just about to drop. February 13th was the date for Pac's huge comeback, so they decided to drop the Get Money remix 10 days prior. Biggie wanted to put a song on the radio which sounded just like the track Pac wanted to put on All Eyes on Me, expecting that he'll use the beat Faith heard for his next single. They expected Hit 'Em Up to be on All Eyes on Me. So Big did the same thing he did in '94, when he used the same sample for Tupac's Time to Get My Drink On for his hit single Big Papa, before Tupac even has a chance to use that song.
Damn.
According to Little C's, they knew that Pac would lyrically take aim at them on his next album All Eyes on Me. What they didn't know is that Pac used the beat Faith heard for a Biggie diss track, not for a club banger. Faith thought Hit 'Em Up would be a party record, and that's why Biggie and Junior Mafia wanted to turn it into a smooth, laid-back club record. But Pac, by this time, had already decided to exclude the first version of Hit 'Em Up from the album. He had actually given up on the idea to release it, thinking that he had humiliated Biggie enough already, with those pictures of Faith and Pac floating around, and the media turning it into the biggest topic in hip-hop. People were trying to tell Tupac to slow down, that it's all a misunderstanding, as Biggie would have never done anything sneaky like dissing him on a song like Who Shot Ya, and making fun of him for getting shot. And that the whole thing about Biggie setting him up is a misunderstanding, that Pac is attacking a man who's completely innocent, which makes him the one that's in the wrong. And they were all saying that Biggie is not even responding, that he wants peace. But the Get Money remix convinced him to go ahead with his initial plans to do the Hit 'Em Up song, because he had scrapped the first version and didn't want to use it. Pac understood what Biggie and Puffy were trying to do with that remix. He understood that they were trying to sabotage him again, so he stopped having mercy for them. Her decision to tell Biggie and Puffy made Pac go back in the booth and redo the song, but this time more brutal. He even started insulting Faith, cause he knew that she was the one that told Big about the sample. Biggie was the first one to make a move, lyrically, cause none of the songs Tupac made about Biggie had been released so far. The Get Money remix was retaliation for what Pac did with Faith, but they once again kept it subliminal. The remix starts off with Lil C's asking Tupac and the Outlaws how they could possibly think that they could ever have a negative effect on Biggie, Junior Mafia and the money they pull in, implying that they're unstoppable, and that they will forever continue to get gold and platinum plaques, regardless of who's trying to stop them.
Shout out to the 90 people in here, I appreciate y'all.
Both Lil Kim and Lil C's have a verse on here, and that's part of the reason why they later became a target on Hit 'Em Up, cause the other members of Junior Mafia didn't get called out by names. They gave C's and Kim special attention. Big then comes in verse number 3, starting off with slick talk and double entendres.
All that and a bottle of Dom P. Can't harm me, I keep the on me.
This part right here includes 4 references. Dom P, obviously the alcoholic drink Dom Perignon, but also the name of Lil Sean's song, in which he sampled Biggie. Those two were also in the Dom Perignon music video next to people wearing henchman shirts. Again, Jimmy Henchman was the mastermind behind the Quad Studio shooting. Biggie was still hanging out with him after the shooting. And Lil Sean was the guy Tupac was supposed to do a song with that night he got shot. Next, he uses the word army. The people who robbed Pac at the Quad Studios wore army fatigues. Not only that, but Big is also kinda talking about them as if they're his people, which is what Tupac initially thought when he saw them, according to the Vibe magazine interview. Pac made it seem like the robbers could have been Biggie's homies. The accusations, of course, infuriated him, cause Pac literally said they looked like Biggie's homies from Brooklyn, and Biggie plays with that in the next line by asking, "Is Brooklyn in the house?" Immediately after using the word army, he uses the word Brooklyn. Was that a coincidence? Cause Pac's robbers in army fatigues were indeed from Brooklyn.
Dang, bro, that motherfucker down. I ain't think about shit like that.
In the house, without a doubt.
He also said people can't harm him, in response to Tupac constantly taking jabs at him. And he was the main one doing it at the time. So these lines were definitely aimed at Pac. Again, Dom P, harm me, army is Brooklyn in the house. He chose his words wisely. He knew exactly that Pac would understand what he's trying to do. And he did, cause he paid close attention to that. While everyone else was busy telling him that he's just overanalyzing things, that it's all a reach, that Biggie is innocent and could never do him wrong, Pac saw them as deceitful, two-faced, manipulative snakes. I mean, Puffy always managed to make himself and his people look like innocent angels, in contrast to the big bully, tyrant and devil Suge Knight. And Tupac, who's completely out of control. While Pac and Suge were always direct, Puff and Big loved responding subliminally, while pulling strings behind the scenes without anyone noticing. That's why Puff always said that bad boys move in silence.
Without a doubt, I'm the rapper with clout everybody yap about.
Who was the one quote-unquote yapping about Biggie every chance he got? Tupac, of course.
Check it out, guns I bust 'em. Problems with my wife, don't discuss 'em.
Biggie's infidelity, followed by Faith's alleged affair with Tupac, changed their relationship forever. And Biggie was getting tired of it, always getting brought up wherever he went.
Okay,
it was of course hurting him, and he just wanted to move on. So he's telling Pac and the media to stop talking about his wife and his relationship with her.
Fingerprints I dust them, reach the address. Stuck it for your stash in your pissy mattress.
The part about the recent address could be about the incident with Mark Bell at the Christmas party in December 95, where Pac, Shook and the Mob Peru beat up the Bad Boy associate in an attempt to find out Puffy's recent address. Stuck you for your stash in your pissy mattress, another way of saying he robbed him, and possibly another reference to the Quad Studio shooting. Cause people saw it as Biggie admitting, or at least making it seem like he was partly involved in the robbery, just to piss off Tupac, who was already accusing him. Or it could also be something completely unrelated. Just him rapping about his life as a drug lord.
Your mom's the actress, didn't want to show me the safe. It's okay, she was old anyway.
I know that I was at the hospital with his mom when he had got shot in that studio.
Your mom's the actress, didn't want to show me the safe.
This could be about Tupac's mother, Afeni Shakur, who was a...
I know you motherfucking lying, Chad. Oh, hell nah. I know this motherfucker didn't say he had to bring him on this. Oh, hell no. Tupac mama there.
Fuck, man. Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ass.
He about to pick me off, I ain't gonna lie.
Political activist and a member of the Black Panther Party. Biggie called her an actress, just like her son after the Quad Studio incident. Cause that's what Biggie and everyone else said about Pac in the Vibe magazine. That he was acting and being overdramatic, that everything was a movie to him, that he refused to hand over his jewelry. And Biggie is saying that Pac's mom is refusing to show him the safe, that she's as rebellious and stubborn as her son, joking about her starting to be dramatic like in a movie when Biggie tries to rob her. So Big had to kill her.
It's okay, she was old anyway, I display. Hot 97 round ready, cock Mac 11 line steady.
It's interesting that he mentioned Hot 97 after going on air to call the shots on Snoop and the Dog Pound. Tons of lines that could have double meanings behind them. That's what Biggie was known for. Somehow all the keywords he used could be linked to an incident that's part of the beef. I don't think it was all a coincidence. This is the same song that interpolates lines from Shabba Ranks' song Don't Test Me, which the rap group OGC had interpolated before him in the song The Storm, which they performed at the Palladium when Biggie and Junior Mafia were present.
I can be as good as the best of reps and be as bad as the worst.
You can be as good as the best of them, but as bad as the worst.
After Big stole it from OGC and used it before their album came out, the entire bootcamp clique started to have an issue with him and picked the side of Tupac in the beef. The supergroup bootcamp clique included the subgroups OGC, Helter Skelter, Black Moon and Smith & Wesson. And they were now allies of Tupac and going to war against Biggie. And Big of course had a problem with that, cause they were in the middle of the East Coast West Coast beef, and the people who are supposed to be on his sides are teaming up with the enemy. He saw them as traitors. Puffy and Biggie were supposedly responsible for blackballing them. They all of a sudden had problems with the record label. Word then got back to Pac about Biggie becoming something like a gatekeeper for New York hip-hop, and he wanted to do something about it with Suge Knight's Death Row East, which was supposed to be Death Row's label branch on the East Coast. Cause he thought Biggie has full control over who becomes popular and who stays underground, just through his connections in the industry and his influence, blackballing people behind the scenes and pulling strings. He thought Biggie had that much power in New York. And Pac wanted to change that by creating a divide within New York itself, so that the king of New York, Biggie, loses his power and influence. So Pac later tried to reach out, be cool and pull rappers and rap groups from New York to his side, promising to sign them to Death Row East in exchange for their loyalty against Biggie and Bad Boy. People like the rap legend Big Daddy Kane, for example, who rejected the offer cause he didn't want to be part of the beef. But Pac had more luck with rappers and rap groups who are considered underground. People that were easy to blackball. And both sides kinda understood what they were trying to do. Biggie and Pac would try to get as many rappers on their side as possible. There were some who were Team Biggie and others who were Team Pac. But yeah, Biggie couldn't stand the bootcamp clique. And he wanted to sabotage their careers. And the bootcamp clique didn't like him either. A couple months later, on October 29th, they actually released a music video to the song No Fear, which featured actors who were supposed to look like Biggie and Faith. Rock from Helter Skelter actually threw Biggie off the stage. They did that not only to get back at Biggie for biting them, but also to show that they're still loyal to Pac, even after his death. But this would eventually lead to Sterang Wonder from OGC getting jumped by the members of Junior Mafia at the D&D studios. More on this in the King of New York documentary. On February 13th, Tupac's double album All Eyes on Me was finally released, and it did crazy numbers. It was a second #1 album in a row, and sold 566,000 copies in the first week, while Biggie's Ready to Die had only shipped 57,000 units. So Pac was back on top and became the #1 rapper in the game. He went 5 times platinum in just 2 months, something that no rapper on Bad Boy had accomplished yet. Ready to Die was stuck at double platinum. Pac was the biggest thing in '96. He was everywhere. Was putting hits on the radio almost every month, dominating the charts, while also working on hundreds of songs for future albums. All while the East Coast was waiting for Biggie to come back, because Pac was dropping albums back to back. It took Biggie way more time. He only had one album and a group album. Wasn't even halfway done with his sophomore album. This worked in Pac's favor, as he could dominate the charts, grow his fanbase, and take shots at Bad Boy while the whole world is convinced that Biggie is shook. Too scared to respond, taking so long with his album because he can't make bangers as fast as Pac. People were belittling Biggie and attacking him from all angles. He had dropped a group album just a couple months ago, but All Eyes on Me blew that away, and the fans expected Biggie to drop again to compete with him. 1995 was Biggie's year to shine, but '96 was Pac's year. He took Biggie's crown, with Pac outselling him in no time. He made the biggest rapper on the East Coast look like an ant, cause remember, it took Biggie a whole year to go double platinum, while Pac went 5 times platinum in just 2 months. So Pac didn't see Biggie as competition. At least
salute the great late Tupac Shakur, man. 5 times platinum in 2 months is crazy. That's a lot of motherfucking money, twin. I don't want to hear nobody say goddamn Biggie better than goddamn Tupac. I don't want to hear that shit no more. Oh my God! I need to write that shit down. I need to write that in my little notes. Damn, I ain't got no damn pen. I need to write that in my little notes.
Elsewise. And he rubbed it in his face in multiple interviews. On February 17th, Tupac flew to New York to perform at Saturday Night Live. He wanted to show everyone that he's not scared of coming to the East Coast, even after the 2 shootings in New York, while Biggie and Puffy are quote-unquote scared of coming to LA, which in Pac's opinion showed who was truly in power and in control of the rap beef, bragging about how he can come to the East Coast whenever he wants, while the people from Bad Boy can't come to the West.
I'm gonna be in LA. I got to pump mines. You do? I got to sling my albums. I'm gonna be there. They feel like they could come into it like dissing Big and dissing Puff and doing their little thing. If that's what they choose to do, that's what they choose to do. But I know one thing I got to do is feed Tiana and take care of Miss Wallace. You know what I'm saying? And that's my only job. I mean, I'm making music for the people. If y'all love the music, y'all gonna buy the music. But please, all you MCs out there, all you fans out there, don't think Big gonna make a record dissing Tupac or the West Coast, because it's not going down like that. I can't even see me wasting my time or my talent. Right. You know what I'm saying? To disrespect another black man. He do his thing. I'm gonna continue to make my joints, man. I put a dent up in this joint, you know? I'm gonna make my album. That's how I'm gonna prove myself this year. I'm gonna make a whole tight album without saying nothing about the West or Tupac or Suge or Dre, or they do their thing and I'm gonna do my thing. You know what I'm saying? But if there's ever a confrontation between the two, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have that when we see each other, you know what I'm saying? As far as musically,
All right, I understand that your album is going to be dropping in July, right?
Yeah, hopefully in July. I
Boy,
mean,
sweet.
be ready for July, but I might want to do some more songs or something.
All right, because I was checking out the Bad Boy tape, and Puff Daddy was letting everybody know, eventually it's going to drop sometime in July.
That's why I told you at back the fuck up. You too damn close. Like,
Pac
for real,
then
for real.
appeared on the March
I don't
96
like
issue of
being
the
that
Source
damn close to
magazine.
me.
He spoke on the beef with Big and explained
Tattoo Money
how it all happened.
said,
I was putting
Biggie
Biggie
sneaked
on.
dissing and Diddy's bounty
What
got
killed
Big
it
killed.
was Biggie got
He
put
ain't
on.
innocent like they portrayed.
Biggie was in Thug Life. He used
Know
to be
what I'm
like
saying?
Thug Life, Thug Life. He used to be like F Bad Boy. I
I
hate
think he
Puffy.
just did that shit to make
I ain't
the
effing
media-
with him.
for the media.
Sign me, Pac. I just ain't have no chips for the guy, and I wasn't gonna lie to him. He made his album, and I was making my album. This is before Me Against the World came out. I used to hear his tracks. He used to hear my tracks. Our styles were totally different. My ish was on some I'm about to die, like you hear me on Me Against the World. But it was even a lot more ish about death. This guy album come out, Ready to Die, it's all my album. And Biggie used to sit up there and ask me, how do you do them choruses? You the hook man. How you do this? How you do that? I used to tell that guy, don't do none of that gangsta-ish. You better get at these females. Because the females buy your tape. The guys buy your tape because the females want the tape. And look, he came out on some Big Papa-ish. That's straight up robbery. But even after that, long as he was my homeboy, that was okay. But soon as he started acting like he was his own man, they knew that I was at the point where I couldn't just ride on people. I had like 50 gun cases, 30 assault cases, and they didn't have none. So they was plotting. To the question how his beef with Biggie turned into an East Coast West Coast thing, he said, I'm from the East Coast. That's why I can feel like this. To my peoples in New York who got love for me, ignore this. Don't even trip. But they attacking me in such mass amounts that I can't no longer call these people's names out. And they all coming from New York. That's where I gotta start banging. But even after all this happened, Dre, Snoop and the Pound made peace with Puffy on stage at the Source Awards. Biggie got on the radio saying, this is where them guys is at. They making a video dissing New York. Y'all need to get at them. People rolled down there and got with them. Funkmaster Flex, all them guys who was who riding on the radio, and some people went down there and handled their wax. But nobody got hurt, fortunately. But see, all they did was step this ish up a level. How did Biggie's wife Faith get into all this? Because them people be on the radio and in their records and on the videos acting like players. Didn't Biggie say he was a player? Baby, baby. Stole my lyrics, I stole his beat. Took my rhymes, I took his wife. He touched my style, I touched his wife.
I'm gonna need a cigarette for this. Hold on there. Oh, we gonna go wind that bed right now. And they see.
I was putting Biggie on. What killed it was Biggie got put on. Biggie was in Thug Life. He used to be like Thug Life, Thug Life.
Oh, damn, we
He
gotta
used
go
to
back.
be like F Bad Boy. I hate Puffy.
Hold on, we gotta go back. We gotta go back.
Twice. And he rubbed it in his face in multiple interviews. On February 17th,
Oh, then we mean go
Tupac
out with
flew
that
to New
damn bit.
York to perform at Saturday Night Live
Go out with that bad shit, my bad. I'll try to go back with the
to
football
LA,
shit.
which in Pac's opinion showed who was truly in power and in control of the rap beef, bragging about how he can come to the East Coast whenever he wants, while the people from Bad Boy can't come. I was putting Biggie on.
There we go.
What killed it was Biggie got put on. Biggie was in Thug Life. He used to be like Thug Life, Thug Life. He used to be like F Bad Boy. I hate Puffy. I ain't effing with him. Sign me, Pac. I just ain't have no chips for the guy, and I wasn't gonna lie to him. He made his album, and I was making my album. This is before Me Against the World came out. I used to hear his tracks. He used to hear my tracks. Our styles were totally different. My ish was on some I'm about to die, like you hear me on Me Against the World. But it was even a lot more ish about death. This guy album come out, Ready to Die, it's all my album. And Biggie used to sit up there and ask me, how do you do them choruses? You the hook man. How you do this? How you do that? I used to tell that guy, don't do none of that gangsta-ish. You better get at these females, because the females buy your tape. The guys buy your tape because the females want the tape. And look, he came out on some Big Papa-ish. That's straight up robbery. But even after that, long as he was my homeboy, that was okay. But soon as he started acting like he was his own man, they knew that I was at the point where I couldn't just ride on people. I had like 50 gun cases, 30 assault cases, and they didn't have none. So they was plotting. To the question how his beef with Biggie turned into an East Coast West Coast thing, he said, I'm from the East Coast. That's why I can feel like this. To my peoples in New York who got love for me, ignore this. Don't even trip. But they attacking me in such mass amounts that I can't no longer call these people's names out. And they all coming from New York. That's where I gotta start banging. But even after all this happened, Dre, Snoop and the Pound made peace with Puffy on stage at the Sorcerers. Biggie got on the radio saying, this is where them guys is at. They making a video dissing New York. Y'all need to get at them. People rolled down there and got with them. Funkmaster Flex, all them guys who was riding on the radio, and some people went down there and handled their wax. But nobody got hurt, fortunately. But see, all they did was step this ish up a level. How did Biggie's wife Faith get into all this? Because them people be on the radio and in their records and on the videos acting like players.
But didn't
Biggie say he was a player? Baby, stole my lyrics, I stole his beat. Took my rhymes, I took his wife. He touched my style, I touched his wife. If he talk all that ish about being a player, and I got at his wife 2 days after I got out of jail, imagine that gangsta ish he's talking. How plastic that ish is. So as you can see, after hearing the Get Money remix, Pac became more and more relentless in his interviews. Because he wasn't really using profanity when talking about Biggie's wife. At least not in his interviews. He's way more aggressive now. On March 7th, Pac continued going at Biggie and other rappers on the East Coast. He recorded the diss track When We Ride on Our Enemies, which was aimed at the groups Fugees, Mobb Deep, and also Biggie. In the second verse, he said, Tupac felt betrayed and double-crossed by Biggie, who he believed knew who shot him. When he said crossing the game, he meant not playing by the rules of the game. And that's exactly what he thought of the Bad Boy entourage when they allegedly set up the robbery and shooting.
Even though they got them do the gangster shit, play them as gangster shit, but he's really for our people though.
In Pac's view, it's only right for him to retaliate in the same manner, by dominating and eradicating the competition in the rap game. On the song Who Shot Ya, Big rapped about putting his gun into the mouth of one of his victims who chose to mess with him. He killed him while the victim begged for mercy. Pac wants to give him the exact same treatment.
MC Hammer is a well-known goon. He was on death row. Him and his brother are straight up goons.
Another one. Another one.
Give me a hell yeah! Give me a
hell yeah! I had just reached found that shit out. I thought MCM was a dance motherfucker, but that motherfucker had motherfuckers with him. Yeah, them motherfuckers shook, twin.
Did I tell you don't fuck with me? Huh? Did I tell you not to fuck with me? Now try your eyes was heartless on your hits. It's a lot of screen piece after they start some issue.
Biggie was indeed heartless on his hits, like on Gimme the Loot for example, where he's talking about robbing and shooting a pregnant lady. That whole mafioso ice-cold killer image. Songs like Who Shot Ya, where he's making people beg for mercy who have a gun in their mouth. Pac is now asking how he can scream peace after doing songs like that. How they can squash the beef after all the things he did.
Pay attention, here's a word to those that rob me. I murder you, then I run a train on my beef. Don't fuck with me.
Sending a threat to those that robbed him. Dexter Isaac, his two homies Spunk and JD, King Tut, who he believed was one of the shooters, Haitian Jack, Jimmy Henchman, and everyone who knew what happened but refused to help Pac. That same day, he recorded the song You Don't Have to Worry with the Outlaws. This is the song where Tupac supposedly admitted to have given orders of killing someone after getting shot 5 times. and that someone, as explained earlier, was widely speculated to be Pac's old friend Big Stretch, who died exactly a year after the quad studio shooting.
5 shots changed my whole life. Clothes were slick. Niggas died by my orders when I wrote this shit.
The next lines kinda confirm that he's talking about an old friend who was there from day one. Cause Pac and Stretch met in 1990, when he hadn't even started his solo career. He was still a member of the group Digital Underground.
Though we go back like wild nights to Latin quarters, niggas tried to kill me, and I fed their wife and their daughters.
I fed their wife and their daughters. Pac is talking about Faith Evans and both Biggs and Stretch's daughters, who he always bought presents and took care of like an uncle. He really saw Biggie and Stretch as his brothers. Pac even gave Stretch money so that he can take care of his kids, even babysitted her. Big was gonna quit rapping and go back to dealing drugs around the time his girlfriend got pregnant. Pac stopped him and put some money in his pockets. Took him on shows so that he can make some cash until his deal with Puffy works out. Paid their bills, bought them food, toys and presents for the kids. But he also said that he fed their wives. Talking about Faith Evans. You know exactly what Pac fed Faith Evans that night when they slept together.
Say they shot me in my nuts. Out of luck with it. Bullshit, nigga, cause I'm still yo, dude.
Once again, Pac bragging about sleeping with Biggie's wife, Faith Evans. He did it even after getting shot in the groin area. His enemies were making fun of him for shooting himself in the balls, spreading rumors of him losing a testicle, which he actually didn't. His wound sealed, and according to Idi Amin from the Outlaws, Pac still had both testicles while he was recovering. But people at the time were making fun of Pac for only having one testicle left. He addressed it again in the next song called Ghetto Star, which he recorded a day later on March 8th.
Bust my gun, make them all scatter. Bullets to my nuts only made my balls fatter. Eat it, I eat it.
His haters on the East Coast started to call him One Pac, and there were rumors that that's the angle Biggie wanted to use to come back at him lyrically. Like, look, how can you say you slept with my wife when you only have one testicle? And Pac was already writing lines in response to that. As a counter, this was around the time they started promoting his upcoming album Life After Death, on which he wanted to lyrically respond to him. So New Yorkers were waiting for him to make a comeback. And Pac is telling him to bring it on, saying that he'll get killed when he rides by.
At Texas Tattoo Money said, Shock G told us Tupac was dancing and being a roadie
on
to
March
get on and was real as can
22nd,
be.
Dr. Dre officially left Death Row Records to found his new label Aftermath Entertainment. He would later collaborate with various New York MCs and even make peace with Biggie, which of course upset Tupac a lot. That same month, Snoop met Biggie as well in Atlanta at a hotel. He went there with Daz Dillinger and was greeted by Lil Cease, who then brought them to Biggie's hotel room after Snoop told him that he wants to holler at him. Big opened the door and gave them a hug.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
At Sky Swizzy Broadcast.
Get your ass on, boy. Get your goddamn ass on.
Yeah, they got a video, goddamn Biggie right here, rubbing on goddamn Diddy hand and shit. So you say he the realest one? I guess so. Man, let's go to that video. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the video.
At Texas Tattoo Money
I'm gonna show you the video.
said, SMH.
Let me show y'all the video. Let me go to my shorts, bro. It says Rob won't prove. I don't have a lot of damn. I got an ass video. If I can find this shit, let's see, can I find it? Here you go. This the real.
little too close.
I know you motherfucker.
And next question is.
Who's that? That's the realest. Oh hell no! Hell nah, to you. What old bro talk about?
They smoked some weed together and Snoop confronted him about the shooting in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Big couldn't say anything to justify his actions. Snoop told him, I know you called that shot on me.
At Robert
They
Mitchell
missed.
F9Y
I forgive you.
said,
Snoop
You
felt
right,
like no
haha.
one got hit, so he let it go. The Crips didn't really have real motivation to get involved now, cause Snoop forgave them and that was that. When he went back to LA and told Pac about it, Pac was confused on how he could forgive them like that. Cause remember, Pac thought Big and Puff knew who shot him. and didn't tell him on purpose.
If that the
They
price of
blamed
fame, I
Big
don't want
Jake's
this
death
shit.
on
Hell
Puffy
no.
as
Talk
well.
about this shit.
And they almost got Snoop and the Dog
At
Pound
Sky's
killed.
Wizzy broadcast.
Pac was all about
Said,
that loyalty.
Nasty
He was
work,
there
I
when his
remembered that
Paru
face
friends
turquoise
needed help,
covering eyes, face
and also
turquoise
for the
covering
Crips
eyes,
on his
face
team.
purple crying,
First
face
thing
purple
Pac
crying.
told Snoop was F them people. Snoop felt like Pac had the right to say that. How the F you
Texas
ain't
Data
tripping
Money
when people try to kill you?
said,
You ain't tripping
they
when
hurt
people try
behind
to
Big's
shoot
death,
you?
but not holding him
And they
accountable
tried to
for
do
his
me.
actions and contributions
Homie,
to
you went
his own
soft
death.
after that murder case.
Pac would never.
Referring to
Stood
the
tall
murder case
25
Snoop
years.
beat on February 21st, 1996. On March 25th, Pac recorded the song Effing with the Wrong Guy. And you could tell that he's slowly getting into the hit 'em up mode again.
Stand the swinging wild, but they sounds miss me. You can bring that shit, but your whole clique can still get treated as shit. Business never personal.
He's being sarcastic here, saying that Biggie sending Faith like a peace offering won't change the fact that he will continue to go at him. Mocking him by saying that it's business, never personal. He did the song with Faith, but instead of paying her, he slept with her as compensation,
At Texas
sending
Data
her
Money
back to New York, telling
said,
Biggie to not take it
Big
personally.
Jake Campanella part Pyru, okay, hand medium dark skin tone.
When you come for me, cause we sick thugs.
Saying that Faith at least had the metaphorical balls to come step into his territory and visit him, implying that Faith is much more of a man than Biggie, even though Big tried to make everyone believe that he's an ice-cold killer and mafia boss. Pac is telling him that he shall bring out the big guns when he and his crew come to get him.
I wanna be a peaceful man, but still, when taking them for me, all I can see is getting them away.
Pac still wanted revenge and confront Biggie in person. Snoop and the Dog Pound flew to New York in peace and got shot at because of Biggie. So Pac and Shook wanted to return the favor and make it impossible for the people from Bad Boy to come to LA without getting in trouble.
Chad, this is the only thing I got a problem with Biggie. You know Pop put you on, gave money to feed your daughter and shit, all that type of shit. Took a gun charge for you, and you didn't even come up to the court. You know what I'm saying? Speak for him or at least take the charge. You know what I'm saying? It was your gun. It wasn't Pop. None was Pop guns. Like they shit. I'll be goddamn coming out. Then I was locked up too. Shit, soon I come out of jail, I'm on your ass. Point blank, bro. Y'all know y'all do some shit.
The next time Pac and Shook saw the people from Bad Boy
Texas
was at the
Data
Soul
Money.
Train Awards in LA on March
That shit
29,
fucked up,
1996. This was Shook's territory. He had bought 60 tickets for Ma Peru members to come to the show.
Nobody don't never speak about this
KVD
shit,
and the
though.
Southsiders were there too, but they weren't sitting with any of the Bad
You
Boy
gonna argue
members.
anybody does that?
At Texas
None of the
Data
gang
Money
members
Not
were
right.
allowed
Said,
to come on stage
multiple
or
guns
accompany
in his
the
room.
artists on
Yeah.
their way in or out that building. Keefy D didn't even see Puffy that day.
You got that. Then the goddamn girl talking about falsely accused him of what she falsely accused him of rape. False accused him of rape and shit. And then the gun charge. Shit, that's a lot. But that nigga, I know he was in there. I know he was in that jail cell stressing. Then they supposed to be your homeboy. He supposed, man, at least say something. He ain't come visit you, say what happened or explain that. Puffy all in his ear. Like, that would have made me dislike Biggie right there. When I found out that shit, that would have made me dislike him, bro.
It was said that Biggie was in charge of opening up the show on stage. Pac and Shook obviously got mad at that and wanted to open up the show themselves. I mean, the show took place in LA,
said,
and they let a New York
Pac
artist
told
open
Big
up
to
in the
sign
middle
with
of the East
Puffy,
Coast
but
West
once
Coast
he
war.
did, he denounced
Shook
thug
and
life.
Pac's
That's when
egos
Pac
were so
went
big that they couldn't allow it.
Yeah.
Shook wanted his 50 to 60 men to rush that stage and carry Biggie outside.
I don't know.
But they were late for the show and didn't actually see Biggie and his people on stage. They were on their way to the awards when Biggie was done performing. And after he got the award for R&B Soul or Rap Song of the Year for his song One More Chance,
At Robert Mitchell
Biggie and his
F9Y
team were now leaving
said,
the awards with a small
Bad
group
Boy
of
Sully,
people
get
through
ready,
the back
take
door.
that.
They had a flight to catch to
Boy
North
Sully,
Carolina
take
where
that.
they had a show.
What that mean?
So they were in a rush. The people from Death Row, however, thought that they're trying to escape like cowards, leaving through the back door, all scared, trying to avoid confrontation. Pac, Shook, the Outlaws, the Death Row head of security Reggie Wright, bodyguard Frank Alexander, and a large group of Ma Peru members arrived at the back door where Biggie and his people were just coming out. Reggie Wright had tipped off the man who ran the security at the awards.
So good.
He held back the Bad Boy camp and made sure that they don't leave before the people from Death Row arrived. So it was all a setup. The people from Death Row were late, so the plan of them attacking Biggie on stage didn't work out. So they resorted to plan B, to surprise them when they're trying to leave. Tupac was dressed in army fatigues, just like the people who robbed and shot him at the Quad Studios. Again, he was fully convinced that those people were Biggie's homies from Brooklyn, that they were the ones that set him up. So Pac wanted to return the favor and set them up in a similar way, now that they're in his territory.
If they come to California, some of these true-to-life game bangers gonna pull your motherfucking card. You could do that little set me up in the studio in New York, but in California, nigga, that's where the G's ride.
He wanted to approach him dressed in army fatigues just like the robbers did to Tupac at the Quad Studios. But both sides had guns with them, and this was a place where the police would arrive in no time, so they wouldn't have been able to do something stupid even if they wanted to. There were eyewitnesses everywhere. Pac jumped out the Hummer and saw Biggie the moment he came out of that building. He immediately started yelling and insulting him.
Said,
"You fat mother effer, traitor, you on the west side now. Let's get this ish over with right here, right now." That was the first time I really looked into his face, Biggie said in the September 96 issue of the Vibe magazine. I looked into his eyes and I was like, yo, this guy is really bugging the F out. Biggie had Little C's, Lance Rivera, C. Gutter, and one security guard with him. They were clearly outnumbered. The two groups came face to face and started arguing. C. Gutter from Biggie's camp then pulled out a gun. Reggie Wright from Pac's camp then warned him, saying that he better lower the gun and not point it at them, or else it's over. Pac was yelling, "Give me the gun, give me the gun, shoot that mother effer, shoot him." And Reggie was trying to calm him down, while Pac was pulling him by his arm. Puffy wasn't actually with Biggie at the time, but they were heading in their direction after Biggie's security guard called them for backup, meaning one armed security guard and Puffy as their reinforcements against Shook's people. They were clearly outnumbered and had nobody there to save them if it really came down to a shooting. But they were now rushing there, not knowing what Pac and his people wanted to do to Biggie. But Big was standing there all cool and relaxed. He didn't look scared at all. Little C's on the other hand was quote-unquote pissy drunk and started responding to the things Tupac was saying. "F you, man. East Coast, mother effer." To which Pac responded, "We on the west side now, we gon' handle this ish." The following week's Hollywood Reporter quoted an unnamed source saying that Pac waved the pistol at Biggie, but Big denied it in the Vibe magazine. Nah, Pac didn't pull steel on me. He was on some tough ish though. I can't knock them dudes for the way they go about their biz. They made everything seem so dramatic. I felt the darkness when he rolled up that night. Duke came out the window, fatigued out, screaming, "West Side, outlaws." I was like, that's Bishop, talking about Tupac's character in the movie Juice. Whatever he's doing right now, that's the role he's playing. He played that ish to a T. He had his little goons with him. And Shook was with him. And they was like, "We're gonna settle this now." Then his people start formulating and my people start formulating. Someone pulled a gun. Mother effer starts screaming, "He got a gun, he got a gun." Like, we in LA. What the F are we supposed to do? Shootout? That's when I knew it was on. Keefe D said if he was with Biggie that day, he would have shot and killed Shook, Pac, Reggie, and the rest of the Death Row entourage. But C. Gutter and Reggie didn't fire any bullets that day. Lil C's and Lance Rivera tried to run away, while Big, his security, and C. Gutter stood there unbothered and fearless, according to Reggie Wright himself. The Fruit of Islam came and jumped in between the two groups, calming down the situation. Shook was talking to one of them. And after that, both groups went their separate ways. But the Death Row entourage was now coming to Puffy's direction, cause they wanted to get inside the building. Puffy panicked and jumped down the embankment, leaving the bodyguard Gene Deal behind, while the entire Death Row entourage came in his direction. Puffy ran alongside the trucks and according to Reggie Wright, he hid under a car. He was scared to death, and the entire Death Row family was laughing at him. They definitely had the advantage that day. Tupac and Shook went inside the auditorium and walked around as if they owned the building, signing autographs while he was actually supposed to be on stage to accept the award for Album of the Year. Cause Pac had won in that category with Me Against the
At
World.
Texas Statue Money.
The only award he won
Said,
while he was alive.
Pac fired
didn't
Reggie
even
Wright
care to
Jr.
go on
and David
stage.
Kenner the Lugger,
He was
and they
just
had
filled
Pac
with
killed playing off the
adrenaline,
bounty
walking
Diddy
around
put
the
on him.
building as if he's looking
At
for a
Smug
fight.
BTSS.
Biggie, on the other
Said,
hand, had won 4 Source
"Let's go,
Awards,
chat."
2 Billboard Awards, and 1 Soul Train Award while he was alive.
What's up, twin?
All through one album. While Pac had 4 solo projects out. He was mad about that as well, but he played it off as if he doesn't care about awards, saying that record sales is the only thing that matters. And Pac outsold all of them. So the Death Row entourage is now in the building while Bad Boy is outside trying to escape. They didn't want to spend too much time in LA, cause they never felt safe. Puffy then tried to call Biggie, who was now on his way to North Carolina. He didn't go on the phone because he was mad at him for leaving him behind. Puffy didn't actually fly to North Carolina. He drove back to the house he was staying at in LA. The one Pac and Shook wanted to find when they beat up Mark Bell. When they got there, Gene Deal called Chaz Slim Williams, owner of Black Hand Entertainment. And he told him what happened.
At Terribly
He
28.
mentioned the fact that Puffy ran for his life.
He just
And
scared
Puffy
Big he
overheard
wasn't
the
go do
conversation
nothing to
while he was
Big.
going upstairs. He started yelling at him and said, "Why you telling him I ran? Why you ain't tell him I took a left?" Chaz and Gene Deal were shocked. Puff was heated. Came back downstairs to speak to Gene. "Yo Gene, I got 126 employees, and these people depend on me for their livelihoods. If these white folks thought or would think that I had anything to do with any kind of gunplay, they wouldn't F with me. And they not gonna F with me. I'm a businessman. I'm about making money. But something gotta change. I don't give a F if Pac gotta die, Big gotta die, or Suge Knight go to jail."
Now this a important fact right there. He said, "I don't give a fuck if Pac gotta die, Biggie gotta die, or Suge go to jail." And all 3 of that shit just happened. All Pac died first, Biggie died second, Suge not in jail. That shit crazy and shit. Hello.
Something has got to change. And then he went back upstairs. Gene Deal and his friend, who was in the same room, couldn't believe what they just heard. The other man in the room said, "Yo, that guy said Big." And Gene responded, "He sure did.
He probably wanted this
Big
shit
gotta die? Yo, he said Big."
Bad boy killer. There's no one realer. Mob D killer. Chino X killer. All you can die in your motherfucking sleep. And close your eyes, motherfucker. Sleeping on. Close your eyes. You sleeping on the west side. West side. Bad boy killer. Mob D killer.
On March 31st, Pac recorded the song Good Life with Big Psych.
Please forgive me for my wicked way. Bad boy begin to day bumping this.
On April 4th, Pac and Snoop recorded the song Street Life, with Pac dissing Biggie in his verse, even though Snoop supposedly made peace with Big in person.
Said,
Pac even
the
said
whole
he
time
and
he
Snoop
wanted
are
to
bad
get
boy
it
killers.
Puff, he said with Big
and
he
Snoop
just
was fine
wanted
with
to
it.
spank his little
Pac would
brother,
say
but he
bad boy
wanted to
killer
fight
on numerous
Puff.
records.
Yeah,
it became one of his most commonly used phrases.
I think he just heard about nigga.
At Texas Statue Money. Said, and the cold part is, the same off-duty police that performed the
He
killings
said it
of Pac and
again
Big are
on the
same
song
killers.
Troublesome 96,
Police killers
recorded
like
on
Denzel
April
on Training
8th.
Day.
Damn, boy, you spiritual.
On April 19th, Pac graced the airwaves of KMEL Radio's West Side Radio program in San Francisco. He spoke to Sway about his beef with Biggie and also the East Coast-West Coast war.
We gotta have this beef and this war and these words and this dialogue until we can renegotiate the terms of the treaty. I love the East Coast. I'm from the East Coast. But they have to understand that you can't just be saying this about us and think that we're not gonna take it personal. You can't just be calling us fakers and pretenders and non-creative motherfuckers and we can't freestyle and this and that and this and think we just gonna be like, oh, that's cool, we love them because they started it. Hell nah, we're gonna take it personal.
He also made it clear that it's not really a coastal war, but more of a label beef. Death Row Records versus Bad Boy Entertainment. While explaining how Biggie was able to take over the game at a time when the East Coast was really in need for a strong leader to keep the West Coast under control. Cause they were taking over commercially, outselling rappers on the East Coast, even though New York is the mecca of hip-hop.
Biggie came at a time when they were open to somebody saying we're the master race and these guys are nothing and the pretenders, and this is why we not making it in the business is because of these guys. This is why we not doing nothing because of these guys. So the East Coast really not hating us, really not knowing nothing about
what
us,
I like
but
about
just
Pac.
listening to their supposed to be leader. You know, listening to the person that was representing for them. Like, yeah, okay, well, Biggie, he from Brooklyn, you know what I mean? And that's what happened. So now I'm doing what the East Coast would have did if the West Coast did this to the East Coast. I'm riding for my side. You know what I mean? You wrong. This is not right. Recognize us. And the only way the East Coast gonna recognize us is for us to do it on records, my money, my sales, and my representation. Just like KRS-One.
It's a cold world.
I'm mad at Biggie. I'm rushing it. And what's the problem?
He also made it clear that the so-called coastal war will end once the East Coast distances itself from Biggie, the king of New York, meaning that they stop treating him like their representative, leader, and king, because that's what Pac truly wanted. Take down Biggie and Bad Boy, so that they're no longer seen as the representatives of the East Coast.
That's real. If the East Coast separate themselves from Biggie, we'll do shows in the East. Everything is beautiful. But so far, the East Coast has been with every interviews I read, every letter I read. It's just like, Tupac, Biggie this, Biggie, like he's representative of the East Coast. So that's why I attack as though I do, because I'm a general and I'm a smart general. And I'm not going to attack at no blind soldiers. I'm going to attack at those attacking me. Only reason people is mad now is because I came out of jail and made this shit a reality. When I got out of jail, the West Coast, East Coast, this was really started. California love, what I was saying, put it down. And now the niggas is mad because money is up. Attitudes have changed. It's not as safe as it used to be. You got to think about their business steps, and that's what I wanted to happen. Now let's go to the table. Let's talk. Let's make peace. Let's work it out. Let's get a community the money.
Pac did not want to sit down with Biggie and Puffy to talk it out. He wanted to overthrow them and make peace with the rest of the East Coast, using the new label Death Row East, which was supposed to replace Bad Boy as the face of the East Coast, to show that they have no desire to fight the East Coast, that they're willing to cooperate with the East, promoting their artists and giving them a chance to shine. They were trying to get several New York rappers and rap groups on their side against Biggie and Bad Boy, but most of them at the time wanted to stay neutral, because they didn't really want to bet on the wrong horse. Because everybody knew that one of these labels was about to go down. The people from Death Row were not going to stop until Bad Boy is eliminated. But this could have went both ways. Because Dre, the mastermind behind Death Row, had just left the label. And Pac was completely out of control. And the people on the East Coast, of course, didn't want to strengthen the quote-unquote enemy by picking the side of the people who are trying to destroy the face of their coast, meaning Bad Boy. They didn't want to betray the East Coast.
See, I'm a 90s baby. They didn't tell us all this. They was just like Biggie. When I was growing up, it was just Biggie and goddamn Tupac going at it. You know what I'm saying? All the thing we know is like Biggie's from the East, Pac represent the West. They ain't tell us all the backstories behind this shit. See, people in New York and West Coast, y'all probably already been know this shit. But down south, we ain't know all this shit. For real.
It was hard for Suge and Pac to make Death Row East work, because nobody knew what was about to happen next.
So you saying with a conversation with guys like Puffy, Biggie, and that whole East Coast?
Sit down and conversate with Puffy or Biggie, because that's like Scarface sitting down with the dude he overthrew. You know what I mean? They not on my level, but I can sit down with the OGs from there, which we are doing. People don't even know we not beefing with the East Coast. We starting Death Row East with Eric B, all the OG niggas out there from the East Coast. We got Kane, Christopher Williams, all these artists. We trying to get Bobby Brown, all these artists. We trying to put the East Coast Death Row just like the West Coast Death Row and make it major. You know what I mean? Right. But we're not doing that until we get this business settled. And even while we doing that, we're trying to get the Wu-Tangs again, because I love them. I feel as though they represent the East Coast how we represent the West Coast. And I love them.
Nasty right though.
Pac also thought that the Bad Boy camp is mad because he found out about what happened at the Quad Studios. He knew who set him up, who was cool with them before and after the shooting, and now they're getting exposed. So Pac thought the Bad Boy camp had a problem with that.
They mad because I know what happened. That's why they all, you know, it's Biggie and them, they're not riding. That's why what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing. I'm destroying him. I fucked his wife, I'm fucking him in the game, I'm destroying him. He lives by the rules of the game. He lives off a mafia image. I'm bringing him showing how he totally disregarded the rules of the game, and he's everything but a mafia.
You reinventing it.
Right, I'm showing him. You know what I mean? If anybody's a mafia, look at me. I fucked your bitch, I took 5 shots, I went your crew. I mean, I just what? I went to New York. They don't do shows out here. I did Saturday Night Live. Y'all forgot. Live in New York. Everybody knew I was going to be there on stage.
Talk your shit, twin.
Went to the
Talk your
club,
shit, twin.
everything.
Yeah.
In the middle with my West Side ride. You know what I mean? Because I'm real about it. I don't hate New York, but if y'all don't understand it, you get rolled over too. Because I hear y'all. I was in jail and I heard what they were saying on the radio. And I swear to God, dog, they used to diss the West Coast.
He also talked about Biggie's player image, how it's all fake and made up to sell records. How Pac is the real player, and that a quote-unquote faker like Biggie could never battle him as he'd only expose himself. Cause Pac felt like Biggie was rapping about his life the whole time.
I feel like I'm doing it for hip hop. All I'm trying to do is get the imposters out. I remember Biggie sleeping on my couch. I remember begging tips to you feel me? Yeah. So Big Papa don't mean nothing to me. He know it. He know it. That's why he can't fight me. That's why he can't battle me. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can make songs talking exactly about him, and he can't talk about me because he know. I'm the one that used to buy him champagne. All that shit he talking, that was me buying him that. He talking about my lifestyle with his album. Because when he was doing his album, he was broke. I was having money. The shit he talking about was my life. Thug life. That's what he talking about. All that Junior Mafia, them niggas was young motherfuckers that used to hang around that I used to give money to get on the train to go home at night. Little Caesar and all of that. And all that. Yeah, so now they rapping against me, and you can imagine how I feel.
He also talked about the gun charges in '93, which he received after the incident at the Parker Meridian Hotel where Ayanna Jackson got assaulted. Biggie was there too that day and left his guns there, for which Tupac got into trouble, on top of what Ayanna Jackson accused him of.
When I got arrested in New York, I got arrested for Biggie. Them guns in my room was Biggie's guns because them cowards left the room when they heard the police was downstairs, and everybody left their guns in my room. So I got 4 guns in my room. Serial numbers scratched out, and I did not snitch. I took that case. So you can imagine how I feel when I'm in jail for that case. And he out there living a mafia lifestyle, giving me no money, giving me no respect, giving me no tribute, rolling with my road dog who was there when I got shot. I mean, come on, man. I'm not
Texas
paranoid.
Statue Money.
I'm not
Said,
paranoid.
Rip Big J.
That same
Aaron,
day,
Country,
after doing the
Hen Dog,
interview with Sway,
Tupac,
he drove
Catafia,
directly
Biggie,
to the studio
Craig
to
Mack,
re-record
Young
the
Noble,
Bad Boy diss
Same
record
Fatal,
Hit 'Em Up
Big Sky.
with
Rip. At Docket 1023. Said, YOOO.
The kid, what's up, brother?
entirely new verses from him and the Outlaws, but this time they tried to be even more disrespectful than before. And he didn't just go at Biggie. He also went against Diddy, Lil Kim, Lil C's, Junior Mafia, the whole Bad Boy label, Mobb Deep, Gino XL, Jay-Z, and everyone else who had a problem with him. The producer Johnny J made the same beat from scratch, but this time it sounded more polished. They also took inspiration from the Get Money remix, where the background singer repeatedly said, "Get money," and on Hit 'Em Up they turned it into basically saying that Biggie might be getting money, but Pac is taking it away from him. The song starts off in the most disrespectful way possible, probably the most iconic opening line in history.
That's why I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. West side, bad boy killer.
Pac destroyed whatever was left of Biggie's marriage with this song alone. By this point, everyone had seen the pictures of Pac and Faith together. Now this song would play at every club, at every event, in every hood, and every day on the radio. Starting off with the most disrespectful opening lines in hip-hop history, on one of the hardest tracks of '96. A timeless classic with infinite replay value. Starting off his first verse with a huge F you to Biggie's wife and Junior Mafia. On the first version of Hit 'Em Up, Pac didn't really insult Biggie's wife, only said that he slept with her. But now that Faith told Big about the sample they used for Hit 'Em Up, and them using it for the Get Money remix in the attempt to sabotage Pac, he had no reason to spare Faith during his lyrical onslaughts, saying that he not only F'd her, but he's also saying F her, used her and threw her away. The disrespect. He's also saying that as a representative of the West, people can be sure that he will pull up strapped and with game, meaning intensity, every time he goes for a ride to hunt his enemies. How can you claim to be a player, make the song player's anthem, but then wife up a promiscuous woman, who according to her own confessions in her book, had numerous affairs behind Biggie's back, opening her legs for random men, possibly even for Biggie's enemy Tupac. How can you call yourself a player after that? Players usually don't even have a wife. They never commit and change partners like their underwear. So Pac was pointing out that contradiction. He's also threatening to shoot and kill the people from Bad Boy. After reading Pac's comments in the Vibe magazine and hearing his constant jabs at him and his label, Puffy told Pac to come see him if he's as tough as he claims, so that they can talk it out face to face. He was calling him a fake thug and actor. But then, when they actually met at the 96 Soul Train Awards, Puff ran for his life and hid under a car. And everyone was laughing at him. So Pac is saying that he'd rip his weak heart out. He doesn't associate with weak-hearted people. But this is also a double entendre, with Pac saying that Puffy wants to see him weak. Like when he went to prison with the whole media destroying his image and reputation. And then putting out Who Shot Ya to kick Pac while he was already on the ground, unable to respond. But now that he's out, he's showing the world that Puffy, Biggie and Bad Boy are easy targets for him. Quote-unquote mark-ass B-words. Similar to how Pac was robbed for his jewelry in the presence of Biggie and Puffy, Pac and his homies will come for their jewelry as well and rob them at gunpoint. Take their jewelry and take their money, like you hear the singers say in the background. When Puffy heard this, he actually put out a $75,000 bounty on Death Row chains. Anybody who manages to snatch one of their chains and bring it back to Puffy would receive that amount of money. Cause Puffy's plan was to record a Bad Boy music video for Biggie with them showing off the stolen Death Row medallion to belittle them. Showing them that they're the ones in power. The ones that get the last laugh. On Hit 'Em Up, you were saying that you would rob us and take our jewelry, but as you can see, you're the ones who actually got robbed. You're the victims and you can't do anything about it. That's what Puffy wanted to do to ridicule and emasculate them. Now this is a clever play on Little Caesar's name, turning C's into deceased, cutting him up into pieces, which is also a reference to Julius Caesar of the Roman Empire, who got brutally stabbed to death by those he believed to be his closest friends, who believed that Caesar was full of wrongdoings for his people. Pac used to be Little Caesar's friend, but he did him wrong, and now he's cutting him into pieces. Cause again, Pac believed that C's was the lookout man during the Quad Studio incident. The guy that lured him into a trap by telling him to get around the corner, to the place where he got robbed. Little Kim is another member of Biggie's Junior Mafia. She was the one Biggie cheated on Faith with. Reason why they're getting dissed is because they were the closest to Biggie, and also appeared on the Get Money remix, for which again they stole the beat of Hit 'Em Up. Pac is telling her to not mess with real G's like him, or else he will snatch her ugly ass off the streets. This is actually a double entendre. The first way to interpret this is pretty straightforward. He wants to kidnap her. The second way is that he wants to take her off the streets, like a pimp. Pimps do that to underperforming prostitutes who are not attractive enough to attract men and to make money. So the pimp, which in this case is Pac, is taking her out of rotation, basically calling her an ugly, underperforming prostitute. Her main selling point aside from her rapping skills was definitely her looks, which Biggie wanted to utilize to outsell the competition on the West Coast. Pac is saying that he'll continue the beef until one of them dies, which is unfortunately what happened, since both of them lost their lives in the middle of the East Coast-West Coast war. The beef was very personal. The two had a lot of history together, turned from close friends to deadly enemies. Pac was willing to keep the beef going until he leaves planet Earth, which is exactly what he did. He's killing everyone that's associated to the label Bad Boy. They'll get their caps peeled, meaning they'll get shot in the head. In the hook, he's telling them to grab their guns and to call the police when they see him. since he's about to strike back after they failed to finish him off during the Quad Studio shooting.
What? What you mean by new? I mean, talking about, yeah, when you were, when Biggie was, before Biggie got big.
As you can hear, Pac tried to mimic the hook on Junior Mafia's Players Anthem. Then he references Biggie's song Who Shot Ya, telling them that they didn't finish, and that now they have to deal with the consequences.
But now I know now. The week from the opposite. Who shot me, but your pumps didn't finish. Now you're about to feel the wrath of a menace. I hit him up.
In the interlude, Pac tells his enemies that none of them are on his level, and that he'll just let his soldiers take care of them. A couple years ago, Biggie was one of Pac's soldiers, and he still sees him as someone who doesn't have the same rank as him. He sees himself as a general and Biggie as a soldier who's on the same level as his outlaws. Which is of course ridiculous, knowing that Biggie is one of the greatest to ever do it. And he had proven himself to be a force to be reckoned with all the awards and plaques he got, crowned as the King of New York by the Hip Hop Bible. He was definitely the closest to Tupac in terms of hierarchy and rank. They were both fighting for the #1 spot. But Pac wanted to remind him that he once stood exactly where his outlaws are standing right now, right by his side, working under him, so Big shall come down from his high horse.
Why the fuck they put it in the movie though?
Hussein Fatal had the second verse, and he starts off by saying that Biggie just got robbed, describing a crime scene in which Big was just shot and people are pushing through the crowd to see his dead body. He asked Lil Moo, aka Napoleon from the Outlaws, to pass him the Mac, so that he can shoot Biggie in his back even though Pac already dropped him.
At Texas Dash Money said Pac was
This is
responsible
them
for Bernie
publicly
Mac,
saying
Wayne
that
Harris,
Biggie set up
Marlon Wayans,
Tupac,
Dwayne Martin's
talking about
first
the
movie,
Quad Studio incident.
Above the Rim.
People were always coming in Pac's defense saying that he never actually claimed that Biggie set him up, but they're accusing him right here, on one of Pac's biggest records. Pac always made conflicting statements about Biggie's alleged involvement.
28.
He would usually only say that
Kim
Big
got a
knew who
story
shot him,
about Pac
but
back in
wouldn't
the
tell
day
him,
bringing the
and
weed.
that he assumes that he had something to do with it, having no clear evidence. But now Hussein Fatal is literally saying that it was him who set him up, which later turned out to be complete nonsense. Pac then comes in with verse number 3, saying that this ain't no freestyle battle but murder, since he's killing all his enemies with their mouths open. People always debated on who's the better freestyler.
Yeah, no, we gotta skip that shit. And they got me yesterday for that shit.
F you to everyone from New York who has a problem with him. And also F you to all their mothers, saying that they'll kill them all.
Now when I came out, I told you it was just about Biggie. Then everybody had to open their mouth for the mother's opinion.
At first, Tupac was only talking about Biggie, but he felt like people started taking sides and wanted to get involved, jumping in the ring while the media labels it an East Coast-West Coast conflict, even though for Tupac it was only about him and Biggie. So Pac felt like in order for him to win the war, he has to fight everyone who's still trying to get in the ring with him. He makes clear that everyone can get it, all at the same time. He's not shying away from battling any MC from the opposite coast. The next lines were the reason why Puffy finally decided to put out a hit on him and Shook. Puffy was worried about his business and safety, because Pac was the biggest rapper on the planet at the time, crushing everything Puffy, Biggie, and Bad Boy had built up since Pac got shot the first time in New York.
Didn't want no harm done to Big.
Puffy was scared to death after Tupac made those threats on Hit 'Em Up, especially the part about him killing their kids, knowing that his baby mama, Misa Hilton, has a relationship with Shook, cause she would always bring Diddy's son to LA every time Shook flew her out. Faith and Biggie had a baby on the way too, and he also had a daughter, which Tupac helped to support. And Pac was now saying, "My fofo, make sure all your kids don't grow." Nobody had crossed that line yet. It was unheard of for rappers to threaten to kill babies, and Pac was really out of control at the time. He scared Puffy to death when they met at the Soul Train Awards, and that's why he supposedly got in touch with Keefe D and wanted him to take care of them before they do anything stupid. Cause even on the song, he was telling everyone to not come to Cali.
At Tably28 said, media blew this up all negatively. This was like KRS-One and everybody else was saying before him.
He also gave a shout out to Shook's gang, the Ma Peru, which Pac wanted to join. They had the Bloods behind them, ready to go at the people from Bad Boy the moment they come to LA. Pac ends the song by mentioning the record sales of his last album, bragging about outselling everybody. 4 days later, on April 23rd, he recorded the song Made N-Words, in which he's also taking jabs at Biggie. This song contains physical threats against Biggie's daughter, who was only 2 years old at the time, and also against Biggie's wife Faith Evans. Pac was engaged to the daughter of Quincy Jones, Kidada Jones, and he was afraid that Biggie might start dissing Kidada in response to him dropping Hit 'Em Up and bragging about sleeping with his wife. So that's why he made it clear that nobody can do to Kidada what he did to Faith, that there'll be severe consequences. So Pac was ready to kidnap Biggie's daughter and kill his wife Faith Evans, and he promised him that he'll attend her funeral just to tell Biggie that it was him who put out the hit on her. Now that is even worse than what he said on Hit 'Em Up.
Yo, Piggy, man, we got it going on, baby. It's on and cracking, man. He's gone, baby. You the man. Champagne, caviar, dreams from now on, baby. Plats, baby, straight plats, homie. Baby.
At Tably28
from now on,
said,
man. You know what I'm saying?
They killed Pac
on April 28th, Tupac and Snoop released a music video for two of America's Most Wanted. The intro features two characters named Piggy and Buffy, who, as you can probably guess, were supposed to depict Puffy and Biggie. In the video, they were accused of setting up Tupac, whom 4 days later, on April 23rd, he recorded the song Made N-Words, in which he's also taking jabs at Biggie. This song contains physical threats against Biggie's daughter, who was only 2 years old at the time, and came back to confront them. Piggy and Buffy have a chat about finally having eliminated Tupac, saying that they have no obstacles in their way now. That's when Tupac stepped into the office like Tony Montana.
And we know the Crips was on goddamn, if Diddy was trying to get the Crips on fucking Tupac, why Snoop Dogg Crip? Like, why he didn't goddamn?
At Tably28 said, LOL, he wasn't saying that he was rapping mafia lyrics on how to kill people. He wants saying nothing about his daughter SMH. At Rolando Gum 7882 said, hand purple blue piece, finger red number 1, finger red number 1, finger red number 1, rocket red countdown liftoff, rocket red countdown liftoff, location yellow teal bars, location yellow teal bars.
Don't know what that shit means, twin.
He confronted them and made them beg for their lives, telling Biggie that he won't kill him, as they were once homeboys.
It's a lying piece of shit.
Pop, please don't kill him. It was Buck's idea. No, man. I'm just a rapper, man. Please don't take me out the game.
I ain't gonna kill you.
That shit was funny.
We was homeboys once, Peg. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys.
For the number one.
Even if you is a fat phone.
But they got killed regardless. So this raises the question. Did Pac order the killing of Stretch like he did in the music video with Buffy and Piggy, or was it done just for entertainment? To recreate that iconic scene from the movie Scarface where Tony tells his friend Manny to shoot Frank. Pac saw me big psych, then shoots them off screen. This video dropped right after the Soul Train Awards where they drew the guns on each other, and Puffy was running for his life. So seeing a music video of Pac letting people shoot him, especially after the Quad Studio shooting in New York, and after the shooting with Snoop at the New York video set, must have had an impact on him. It most likely added another reason for Puffy to assume that they were really trying to hurt or even kill them, for all the things they blamed him for, like the murder of Shook's friend Big Jake, for example. So Puffy most likely didn't see this video as a funny Scarface parody, but more as a threat and something that may happen in the near future if he's uncareful. But after the release of that video, it appeared as if Death Row might be starting to chill. At a mid-May East-West Rap Summit in Philadelphia, set up by Dr. Benjamin Chavez to help defuse the situation, Shook avoided any negative comments about Puffy, who did not attend because there was too much hype around the event, according to Puffy himself. There's nothing between Death Row and Bad Boy, or me and Puffy, Shook said.
After he said that
Death
Puff
Row
and Big
sells
was
volume,
his homeboys.
so how could Puffy be a threat to me? Or Bad Boy be a threat to Death Row? But around that same time, Pac did an interview with Hot 97 host Angie Martinez and supposedly lashed out on Biggie, Diddy, Andre Harrell, and everyone who was on his radar at the time. A 2-hour interview that was supposedly too controversial to be released. Hot 97 is a New York radio station, so there was a lot of pressure on Angie Martinez for even giving Tupac a platform and letting him diss the East Coast in an interview which, according to her and everyone else, would have gotten people killed and Pac locked up. Biggie and Diddy were mad at her for reaching out to him, and Angie didn't want to lose her job. Plus, she was convinced that releasing the interview would do more harm than good, so she ended up not putting it out. Puffy's ex-bodyguard Gene Deal said that Puffy heard the interview and made Angie Martinez not release it, as according to him, it would expose him.
The East Coast, West Coast thing is a musical thing. That's separate. That's a whole thing separate to itself. That's a musical thing. When we have been beefing about whose music is better or which is this or which is that from the beginning. It has because I'm like a lightning rod because I'm attacking New York's finest. They're self-proclaimed king of New York. You know what I mean? I'm attacking them so because nobody's separating themselves from them. They still talking about how raw. Yes, they still talking about how raw he is and woo woo woo. He's a representative. He represents New York. Every time it benefits New York, he represents New York. When it don't benefit New York, now he's just another rapper. But y'all let him wear y'all colors. You let him shout y'all out. When Biggie came out here, he screamed out, "Brooklyn's in the house." We don't beat and say, "Why are you starting a war?" Why is everybody when I say West Side, it hurt people feelings?
You know what it is? It's New York's visualizing your camp, which to them is Death Row, which is Dog Pound, which is Snoop, and which is which is that whole thing. And it was all one time. The New York video came out. Brothers was stepping on cars in New York, stepping on on New York like they owned it. Boom, you come out next video. West.
What about the video? Yes, to me it is the best coast, and everybody in New York feel like that too. That's why they come out here and party, man. Why is everybody acting like? I'm not saying. I didn't say for me to say Cali is the West Coast. I never said New York ain't. I never said New York is the worst coast. I just said where I'm at, where I'm from, is the best coast. Why is that offending?
On May 19th, Pac did an interview with Vibe magazine where he talked about his relationship with Puffy and Biggie, saying that it was never a beef, just a difference in opinions.
It was never a beef, it's only a difference in opinion. My homeboy Suge gave me the best advice I could ever get from anybody. He said, when people ask him if he's beefing with Bad Boy, with Puffy, he says like, me going to a playground and picking on a little kid.
Right.
He also responded to the accusations from critics, saying that Pac started to have a problem with Biggie once he became famous and started to make some money. That he got jealous while he was in prison, seeing him get all the respect from the game, all the awards, all the plaques, the support and promotion he got from the media, treating Biggie like the king of rap while at the same time trying to destroy Tupac's image. But for Pac, it's all about respect, which Biggie supposedly didn't give him.
That's like me being mad at my little brother because he getting cash now. I'm not mad at that. I'm just mad at my little brother when he don't respect me. Yeah. Now, when you don't respect me, I'm going to spank your ass. I don't give a fuck how rich you got. On the block, I'm your big brother. I will break your big ass down.
Yeah, go back and see who said this.
He also made clear why he felt disrespected and not appreciated, saying that Biggie is not a bad person. He was supposedly just corrupted and blinded by money, to the point where he forgot about the people who helped him to get all the way to the top.
And I feel as though you wronged me. You got out of hand and you wronged me. You got seduced by the power.
I think Texas said that. Texas, did you say that?
Because money is evil if it's not handled right. If you lose your composure, you could do anything. And he freaking got stronger than love. And they stayed on what they weren't supposed to do.
Pac was disappointed in Biggie for not trying to help him find the people who were responsible for the Quad Studio shooting. He explains how he personally would have handled the situation if Biggie was the one that got shot, saying that he would have tried to find out who did it and then helped to arrange a meeting between Biggie and that person. That's what Pac expected from him. Because there was a similar incident in Las Vegas at the Club 662, where the Wu-Tang Clan was chilling in the VIP section, drinking and partying, until a fight broke out between RZA and the group OFTB, which at the time was signed to Death Row. And they beat up RZA pretty badly. They also snatched his chain, similar to how Pac was robbed in New York, but without the involvement of guns. Pac actually got RZA's chain back and offered him to meet the people who were responsible for it, so that they can talk it out like men, or even have a one-on-one fight if that's what he wants. But RZA just wanted his chain back, and everything was good.
Now, while we on the goddamn Wu-Tang, what old dirty bastard? There you go. So y'all think he betrayed old dirty bastard? You think Wu-Tang betrayed old dirty bastard because he was telling the truth in his songs and shit? We gonna get on that shit too. Check, we going deep. We going Scooby-Doo on this motherfucker. This series, y'all gotta stay tuned. Motherfucker, we going Scooby-Doo.
Study how when Wu-Tang got their chain snatched at 6'6" Dukes, I not only found who did it, but gave them the message that if they want to see the nigga that did it, they can see him. That's all I ask for. That's all I ask for. If you're gonna act like you a gangster or a G or the king of New York, I'm expecting that. And when you don't come through, then I'm gonna crush your empire.
Dirty was my dude.
Yeah, I like Dirty.
Then he gets asked if he thinks that Puffy was involved in the Quad Studio shooting, to which Pac responds that he has proof for it, which is not for the world to know about. He doesn't want to slander their names like they did in the Vibe magazine, where they made him sound like a drama queen.
Only they can answer that question. I have my own opinion, but I wouldn't slander their name like they did.
I know a little bit, like
so. I do believe so. I have proof, things that I can say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows.
Pac also talks about dethroning Biggie in just 2 months, saying that nobody in hip-hop can come close to him success-wise, with him selling 5 million records in just 2 months, while Biggie, as the King of New York, only sold 2 million in over a year. And this was just the beginning.
I sold 5 million in 2 months. Biggie album been out 2 years. He's barely touching 2 million. This nigga had 50 remixes, 1,000. He got everybody in New York in his videos and still barely touching 2 million. I've been out 2 months. My shit sold 5 million with 2 videos out. I'm just starting. These niggas can't touch us. They can't.
2 days later, on May 21st, Biggie, The Lox, Diddy, and the rest of the Bad Boy family were at the video shoot for the Kissin' You Oh Honey remix. This was also Biggie's 24th birthday, the last birthday he ever had. Damn. According to Jadakiss and Little C's, somebody brought Biggie a bootleg version of Hit 'Em Up before it was officially released. The people from Death Row leaked the song on purpose and made sure that Biggie got a copy of it on his birthday to give him the surprise of his life. Similar to how...
See the goddamn did. I don't even want to watch the Biggie movie no more. They be lying.
LOL Pac was mashing on Biggie.
They be lying, twin. Like, he already heard the shit. I thought in the Biggie movie, he heard it on the radio with Lil C, because Lil C called him over. They be lying, bro. Like, come on, man. He been heard it. I gotta put a clip of this shit in the clip of the Biggie movie together. Cause this shit right here don't mean nothing. He already been heard this shit.
Pac was surprised when they dropped Who Shot Ya exactly a week after he went to prison. Biggie was having a great time at the set, but the mood suddenly changed when they showed him the cassette. They put it in the cassette player of the Mercedes-Benz and blasted it on full volume, listening to it together. So Biggie heard the most disrespectful diss track in history while he was in the middle of celebrating his birthday. And now he's getting insulted in front of his family and friends, with a beat that's using the same sample as the Get Money remix. So now they finally understood that the beat Faith was talking about when she came back to New York was meant for the Biggie diss track Hit 'Em Up. Biggie understood in that moment that Pac had the audacity to make his wife listen to a beat on which he and Faith would later get insulted on.
And he wasn't even really mad. He was more mad at the stuff they were saying about C's and Kim.
In fact, he did so Puffy was making all the radio stations take it down.
It ruffled his feathers. He was more upset about what they were saying about his little man and the Queen Bee. We used to ask him. He worshipped down there the ground Pac. He used to love Pac. Pac used to give him jewels, and he would tell us stories for days about Pac.
They stopped shooting the video and gathered to talk about what to do next. Biggie played it off cool and tried to act like the song didn't bother him. He supposedly only got mad that Pac dissed Lil' Kim and Lil' Cease. Jadakiss from the Lox was really impressed by Biggie's cold reaction. Everybody supposedly felt hurt except Biggie. He seemed completely unbothered. But according to Lance Unrivera, the people at the video shoot were really upset about it. It ruined everybody's mood. He also said that Biggie, quote-unquote, cried like a baby shortly after hearing the song, most likely when they were talking in private, and not in front of all those people. Lance was one of Biggie's closest homies. He became part of his clique, The Commission, and wanted to motivate everybody to record a response record and shoot a music video the next day. But Biggie didn't want to do that. What a lot of people don't know is that the beef with Tupac really got to Biggie's head. It really bothered him, to the point that according to Puffy, he had writer's block for 6 to 7 months, which he only overcame after Pac's death.
Faith gassed this up too because she was mad cause Big was with Kim, so she got with Pac to get back at him.
You're writing this song for like 30 motherfucking days. There ain't no excuse for that. But too much balling and enjoying itself, you know.
I mean, I really can't get mad at her because Big really got them with fucking with
the whole time, Puffy made it seem like Pac's constant disrespect towards Bad Boy didn't bother them. But Big was definitely hurt by it. And Puffy had to constantly motivate him to continue, saying that they should just ignore them and continue dropping hits.
Don't let these motherfuckers yo, shut up, dog. I don't give a fuck who it is. Don't let them fuck your paper up, man. Please, Big. Focus your mind, man. Do your albums. Make them hot joints, man. Fuck these niggas, man. Fuck these niggas, man.
At the time, Biggie wouldn't even write lyrics using a pen and paper. He would do everything in his head, and then spit it off the dome without having to read it off a notepad. But he couldn't concentrate, and it messed up his writing process. His head was filled with doubts, anger, confusion, and regret. He started believing all the rumors about Faith sleeping with Pac. It became harder and harder for him to think of song concepts. And according to Puffy, they wanted to focus on other artists on Bad Boy first, like for example The Lox and Mace, letting them work on their albums and then doing Big's album afterwards. Big at that point even wanted Lil' Cease and Lil' Kim to drop their albums before him, even though the whole world was patiently waiting for the King of New York to finally drop his long-awaited sophomore album. People on the East Coast were tired of the West Coast pushing them around, and Big had been silent the whole time. He needed some time to clear his thoughts. But Pac wouldn't give him that, as he would constantly take jabs at him like once every week. Every time Biggie turned on the radio or the TV, Pac was there trying to destroy everything he worked for, to the point where Big couldn't even focus on the music, without constantly being reminded of the drama, which Biggie never even wanted, as he saw Pac as his homie. He didn't even let him catch his breath. It really bothered him. Big knew that if he ever responded to it, there would be no coming back or a way to fix it. Somebody would have gotten hurt, cause they both were surrounded by gangsters and killers. So the next time the two would meet each other like at the Soul Train Awards, somebody definitely would have gotten hurt. It was already impossible for them to travel and tour around the US without having to worry about physical violence. All Biggie wanted to do was record music and make money.
I can't really listen to that hip hop too much, really, because they be talking garbage, man. And some MCs is alright, but a lot of them are funny. They got that portrayal of being, first they tough, then something happened to them, they turn to God. Then when everything's cool, they tough again. I don't understand it. It's just real confusing to me. So I just said, I'm just gonna listen to me.
Yeah, you throwing shots at Pop.
And enjoy my outfit.
He turned the guy.
Have some slow jams, because I can't deal with these characters.
Biggie and Lil' Cease appeared on Yo MTV Raps and sent shots at Pac, saying that he's getting tired of him acting tough in one moment and then turn into God in the next. He also talked about Pac rapping about luxury brands like Versace, saying that he regrets setting that trend and making that cool in hip-hop, implying that he was the one who did it first, before Tupac. and that Pac just copied
At
him,
28,
saying that he sucked the fun out of it and that it's not cool
was the
anymore.
sacred Big Low-key knew that the beef was only a disagreement and it was mainly him destroying Bad Boy, so Big was getting away from Puff.
It's no more. It's finished.
At
I started it and I'm ending it. It's over.
Said,
This is
LOL
interesting
Pac
because
didn't
Pac
turn to
always
God,
claimed the
LOL.
exact opposite, saying that it was actually him who put Biggie onto all these luxury brands, that it was him who bought him his first Rolex, told him how to dress and present himself, as he didn't have the player image before becoming famous. Pac was wearing designer clothes before Biggie, but Big indeed took it to the next level while Pac was in prison. It's interesting how they both accused each other of biting the whole fashion thing. They both wanted their credits. Biggie also promoted his upcoming album Life After Death, on which he promised to respond to all the disrespect from Death Row.
My man Leo De Janeiro dropping the hottest album for the summer. Sleep If Y'all Want. And of course, Life After Death. All the questions, everything you always want to know, what's going on with the situations between me and anybody else that got problems with me. Cop that album and get all your answers. To all my enemies, one love.
Say he didn't.
On June 3rd, Pac and the Outlaws then filmed the video to Hit 'Em Up, featuring the same impersonations of Biggie and Puffy as in the video for Two of America's Most Wanted, where Pac orders to kill them. The video has a white background just like the Bad Boy music video for the Flavor in Your Ear remix, with Biggie, Craig Mack, LL Cool J, Busta Rhymes and Rampage. This time we also have an actress for the Junior Mafia member Lil' Kim. Pac is yelling into Biggie's ear, yelling insults at him and belittling him, without Piggy being able to do anything about it. Piggy and Lil' Kim are actually vibing to the beat, as if they're enjoying it. Pac then pulls down Lil' Kim's wig, dances in front of Piggy as if the two are fooling around like buddies. They also try to make Buffy look as feminine and awkward as possible. This is definitely one of the greatest music videos in hip-hop history. And they more or less did a part 2 to it a day later on June 4th. The same day Hit 'Em Up officially came out and changed the rap game forever. Because on the second day they filmed a music video to Made N-Words, featuring the same actors for Biggie and Puffy. But this time they tried to make it as comedic as possible, with Piggy not being able to control his hunger and Buffy being a complete weirdo.
Man, these West Coast people ain't shit. You know what I'm saying, man? I mean, I'm having millions, man. You see what I'm driving, man, you know?
We need interviews for them too. That's what we need. We need interviews
we can't
for
get
them
nothing
too
right
right
now.
there.
We got businesses here.
I was going through the process
What's
of
the
that.
smell, man? It smells like some ribs or something, man.
I farted, all right?
Hey, man, I just ate all them donuts, man. I'm hungry, man. Let's go get a chicken or something, a pizza.
We cannot stop right now, Biggie. I'm sorry. We can't, okay?
Man, I'm hungry, though, Buff. Man, let's stop right here, man, at the burger joint, man. Let me get something to eat.
We done passed it, all right?
Damn, I'm hungry as hell, Buff. Man, let's stop and get something, man.
I told you we gonna stop and get something to eat. I'm trying to tell you about these West Coast motherfuckers. They ain't shit. That peanut head Tupac with his big old boat on top of it.
Pac's Outlaws attach a GPS device onto Buffy's car and follow them to a place where Piggy is doing a drug deal. The Outlaws then pull up and shoot up the place. Probably the best scene of the entire music video is Piggy opening his desk drawer in panic after Pac's Outlaws come in and start shooting. We then see a drawer full of weapons, and instead of reaching for his gun to defend himself, Piggy reaches for food. He then crawls out the back door to escape, but eventually he gets shot and killed. And unfortunately, Biggie would meet the same fate a couple months later.
Don't fall asleep, nigga. Everybody dies, nigga.
Everybody
dies. We all gotta go, nigga. We all gotta go. Go to sleep,
Vaseline's
nigga.
better
Go
than
to
Eat 'Em Up.
sleep.
What y'all think?
Close your motherfucking
Vaseline,
eyes.
Ice
We
Cube,
all
Vaseline
gotta
Larry
die.
Johnson
versus
and
Tupac. Hit 'Em Up.
Fuck
Let's
them
go.
all.
Oh my bad, I didn't forget about NAS on Ether. That's next under Hit 'Em Up as the best diss tracks ever, just my opinion.
Ooh, I never heard that one.
Shortly after the release of the Biggie diss track Hit 'Em Up in June '96, Puffy decided to respond in form of a mixtape, the Volume 4 of the Bad Boy mixtape series. The concept of it was to put the biggest and most promising talents from the East Coast on the tape so that they get exposure in exchange for their loyalty towards Bad Boy Entertainment. You would think that every artist on a mixtape called Bad Boy is affiliated with the label Bad Boy. That's how people on the West Coast interpreted it, thinking that Bad Boy is the face of the East Coast, and that all the other crews, labels and groups are either working under them or collaborating with them, which makes them look like one big united family that's standing strong against the enemies on the West Coast, in the middle of the East-West War, with rappers like Jay-Z, Nas, DMX, Deluxe, the Wu-Tang Clan, and De La Soul on the mixtape. On Hit 'Em Up, Tupac said, now all these East Coast artists appear on one mixtape, and Pac interprets it as them picking the side of Bad Boy, cause he made himself clear and told everybody to not get involved, saying F you to everyone who wants to be down with Bad Boy, bombing on everyone who picks their side. And that same month, they all come together like one big family. Puffy did that on purpose, just like how he released Who Shot Ya exactly a week after Pac went to prison, and the Get Money remix 10 days before the official release of All Eyes on Me. Now he's dragging all these East Coast artists into the beef, knowing that Pac is a hothead that will interpret this mixtape as them picking Biggie's side. And indeed, Pac would later diss most of the artists on this tape. Jay-Z, Nas, De La Soul, and they even put Helter Skelter in here. Rock from Helter Skelter later kicked the fake Biggie off the stage in one of the music videos of the group OGC, which was part of the bootcamp clique, which Pac was actually cool with. Puff tried to start some drama between them, so that Pac stops messing with the bootcamp clique, cause they were underground and saw Puffy and Biggie as the gatekeepers of East Coast hip-hop, the people who dictate who becomes popular and who stays underground. That's what they complained to Pac about. And Pac promised to sign them to Death Row East. That's why they were always loyal to him. But now Puff is trying to cause a rift between them, so that the bootcamp clique stays in Bad Boy's control, and that Pac won't collaborate with them. The bootcamp clique actually claims that Puffy blackballed them. Pac was also cool with the Wu-Tang Clan. He wanted to sign them to Death Row East too, but now Puff is trying to make it seem like the Wu-Tang Clan is picking the side of Bad Boy in the beef, cause they kinda ended on a bad note with RZA getting beaten up by Death Row artists, more specifically by the group OFTB. So they were like, why the hell would we sign to Death Row East when you can't even respect us? And Pac would try his best to save their relationship, repeatedly saying in interviews that he got love for them. He of course loved the fact that Raekwon and Ghostface were dissing Biggie, so he thought they were the perfect addition to their label. But you can't expect them to join after beating up the leader of the group. And now RZA is on the Bad Boy mixtape, producing beats for Biggie's album Life After Death. Part of Puffy's war strategy was to burn the bridges between Pac and the East Coast, so that he doesn't have any supporters or allies left, and so that the King of New York is in control of his kingdom and territory, meaning the East Coast, making it seem like Pac has to go at all these artists, including the Wu-Tang Clan, in order to take down Bad Boy Records. DMX was on the radio dissing Tupac as well. He wanted to use the East-West conflict to kickstart his career. Pac was also under the impression that De La Soul was trying to diss the West Coast on the song Stakes is High. We also had Capone and Noriega on here, who previously dropped a song called LALA, dissing the Death Row artists the Dog Pound and Snoop. We also had Nas on here with the song Street Dreams, using the same sample as Pac's All Eyes on Me, which really pissed him off because he thought that Nas stole his beat. Jay-Z was on here too, on a song with Biggie who's responding to Pac. So yeah, Pac was pissed off. Almost every feature guest on here was handpicked strategically, knowing that it will cause confusion for Tupac. He was talking to him directly in the intro where he's reacting to the outro of Hit 'Em Up, telling Tupac to stop yapping.
And Hit 'Em Up, and of course Hit 'Em Up comes before Ether. Those are my best diss tracks of all time.
Record label and as a motherfucking crew. And if you want to be that boy, then you too. Chino X. Come on, bring it! All you motherfuckers, you too.
I meant to give him a shout out to can you see him? Can you see it? It's he got a whole bunch of documentaries. Hip Hop, Universal. He got a whole bunch of all the background details and shit. Is it true or false? So y'all
Puff is playing it cool, acting like the song Hit 'Em Up is light work. Nothing that's worth getting upset about. Something that's not even worth addressing. He's laughing it off, asking Pac why he's so upset, sarcastically telling him that he's scary.
This video he is way off with the facts. At Larry Johnson N3 said, Easy he actually came out with the banger with Real G's. He actually spanked Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre on that one.
He's once again calling him an actor, saying that his acting performance is spectacular as always, that he deserves an Academy Award for playing the role of a tough gangster and thug. This is the same thing he said in the Vibe magazine, where he responded to Pac explaining what's happened at the Larry Johnson N3. Puffy, Biggie, said, Andre Harrell, and Jimmy Henchman were calling him an actor.
Give it up! Give him a round of applause!
Like which part? Like tell me which part is he offering for the information? Like, cause I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying?
At Tibbly28 said, he went at NAS over some lyrics he said in one of his songs.
Okay. That's why Tupac went on, okay. But yeah, thank y'all for telling me that though. Nobody, every record they don't never break down why. But I love Nas because he paid tribute to Tupac.
He also sampled a speech by Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan, in which he talks about him and his enemy not letting go of each other until one of them dies, saying that he'll be the one surviving, while his enemy dies. And Puffy used it to say the same thing about Tupac, that he will be the one that dies, while Puffy will be the survivor, which is exactly what happened, since Puffy put out a hit on him.
Some of my black brothers and sisters want me to be quiet, be silent. I can't let them go, and they can't let me go. I can't let you go. I can't let them go. I can't let you go. No. God has me on your behind, and I'm not gonna let it go, and you got me. Like you're holding on to an electric current, and you can't let me go. So we are locked in a life and death struggle. Only one of us is gonna survive. That's right. Now I want you to write this down. I shall tell you today, straight up, with the help of Almighty God, I'm gonna be the one to survive.
And then he plays a clip from the Get Money remix released earlier that year, in which Biggie is subliminally dissing Tupac, but it went over everybody's heads, so he's playing it again so that everybody understands that they were talking about Tupac. Again, the remix uses the same sample as Hit 'Em Up. They put out their song before Tupac's, and now Puffy is trying to rub it in his face.
I'm gonna be the winner, living or dead. Come on! Can't harm me, I keep the army. Brooklyn in the house. Without a doubt. I'm a rapper with clap, everybody up.
Power for a second check. I don't know this shit copyrighted.
At Larry Johnson N3 said, man hit him up, have Puffy
on
mad
track
as
number
F, he still
13
can't listen
called
to that song this
Shoutouts,
day.
Puffy gives Dr. Dre, who had just left the label Death Row, a shoutout. Dre and Biggie actually squashed their beef and were now beefing with Tupac both at the same time. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. So he and Big all of a sudden became cool, even though Dre always looked down on him. I covered Pac's beef with Dre in a separate video. Make sure to check it out. So just like how the Bootcamp Clique and several other New York rap groups and rappers sided with the quote-unquote enemy on the opposite coast, meaning Pac and the West Coast, Dr. Dre and his allies were more or less siding with Biggie on the East Coast. Even though they are West Coast artists, both sides were trying to win over rappers from the opposite coast who had nothing to do with the beef, in order to cause a coast internal conflict, something like a rebellion against the king within the kingdom. People in New York who don't acknowledge Biggie as their king, and people in LA who don't acknowledge Pac as their leader. Both sides were doing it to weaken their opponent. to make sure that the enemy doesn't have enough influence to have an entire coast behind them. So that New York, for example, ain't fully rocking with Biggie and doesn't have his back during the Coastal War. That's why Pac and Suge tried to build up the label Death Row East, to not only win over rappers from the East Coast, but also their fans. At the time, Pac was actually working on an album called One Nation, inviting rappers from the East Coast, like the Boot Camp Clique, to come make music with him, showing Biggie that he ain't in full control over his kingdom, even though he's technically the king. Big and Puff were now trying to do the same thing with Dre, who was the co-founder of Death Row Records, the face of the West Coast, prior to Pac getting released from prison and turning the label upside down. Pac came on board and made the co-owner leave his own label, and now he's replacing him. Puffy knew that giving Dre a shout-out would infuriate Tupac, because they were beefing as well. Pac and Suge saw Dre as a traitor. They were the type to make a lot of unnecessary enemies for themselves. And Puffy used their hot-headed and recklessness against them. While they were busy making themselves enemies, Puffy made sure to reach out his hand to every single one of them. And this made Pac go back in the booth and record an entire album worth of songs, going at everyone Puffy gave a shout-out to. He could have basically given a shout-out to anyone, and Pac would have started beefing with them. That's why Pac's next album, Killuminati, is less about Puffy and Biggie, but more about the ones that were given a shout out on the mix.
Them two was still alive. I don't even think all that future, they got D-Day, all that auto-tune, that shit wasn't musician. You know Pop wouldn't go for this shit, Biggie wouldn't go for this shit. It been lyricists.
Like Dre, Jay-Z, Nas, and De La Soul, for example. This gave Puffy and Biggie room to breathe, since Pac would get distracted by all these new enemies. People who appeared to be stepping into the arena where Biggie and Tupac were supposed to have a one-on-one battle. Biggie was slowly leaving the arena while Pac was busy fighting the crowd, wasting his energy on everyone but his main target. And that's part of the reason why you didn't hear as much Biggie slander anymore after the release of this mixtape. There were just too many new opponents for Pac to just focus on one person. This worked in Biggie's favor, because the beef was getting too much for him. He had writer's block and couldn't focus on his art. The beef really bothered him. They actually moved to the Caribbean to finish the album Life After Death, left the US because of the East-West War. They didn't feel safe in their own city. The relaxing atmosphere in the Caribbean helped Biggie a lot. Track number 14 is called Talking Ish. Puffy continues slandering Tupac.
There's been a lot of yapping going on. Tupac made a motherfucking record. Dissing my man, dissing me, dissing my crew, dissing my company.
You sound like you scared.
And I loved it. I loved it.
At Terribly 28,
because it let me know
said,
the he really was.
If Pac wouldn't have died, they would have gotten back together because Big was getting away from Puff. He had his own label.
You dig? And if they want to come see me, they can come see me. You know? But
I don't know who they told they was gonna leave. That would fuck them up. I don't know who Big told who he was gonna leave, Bad Boy. Whoever did that told Puffy.
See my man Biggie? They know where he's at. They can come see him.
Then he talks about his future plans against Tupac, now that he dropped the song Hit 'Em Up, saying that bad boys move in silence. Now the question is, what did Puffy mean by bad boys move in silence?
Tupac and Biggie
because he did a lot of shady things in the background involving the Southside Crips, who did a lot of dirt for him. Puffy not only put a $75,000 bounty on Death Row Chains, but he later put out a $1 million bounty on Tupac and Suge's heads, which I will touch on later. What could he have meant with bad boys move in silence? Cause Biggie had decided against lyrically responding to Pac, so they would have to respond in a different way.
There's a whole lot of acting going on, but nobody want to touch you, and nobody want to see you.
At Larry Johnson N3 said
his upcoming album Life After Death, which they claimed was supposed to contain response records against Pac, even though later they claimed that Biggie did not want to respond, with a full diss track at least. because he was still throwing jabs here and there.
We're notorious B.I.G.
Don't want to hear this.
Life after death. The album.
The final song on the mixtape contains more shots at Pac, but this time more direct. It was a song Brooklyn's Finest with Biggie and Jay-Z. On that song, Biggie purposefully referenced To Shot-Ya, which again everybody interpreted as a diss record against Pac. On Who Shot Ya, Biggie called himself Brooklyn's Finest.
Brooklyn's finest. You rewind this, bad boys behind.
And they named the song after that line. DJ Clark Kent even quoted it on Brooklyn's Finest.
Brooklyn's finest. You rewind this.
Clark Kent was actually the one that brought Biggie and Jay-Z together, and they ended up doing the song Brooklyn's Finest together. That's where Biggie learned that Jay-Z didn't write down his lyrics, cause Jay was doing everything in his head. So Biggie was like, if you can do it in your head, then I can do it too. Jay had acquired the skill after years and years of practice, creating entire verses without writing anything down. From that point on, Biggie did everything in his head too. Biggie wanted to show him that he can do everything that Jay-Z can do on the mic. Every trick, every skill, every technique. Things he practiced for years. As the King of New York, Biggie felt like he should be able to do that too. No MC should possess a skill that the King can't replicate. That's why when he rapped with Bone Thugs and Harmony, he tried to replicate their fast-paced triplet flow. Cause Biggie wasn't a fast rapper, but he wanted to prove to everybody that he's the best MC. Someone that can master everybody's styles, challenge people using their skills, out-rap people with their own styles. But in order to learn the technique of writing raps without a pen and paper, he had to practice it again and again. Just like Jay-Z did for years. Jay had mastered that technique already, but Big needed some time. That's why, unlike Jay, he didn't lay down his verse on the first day. He went back on tour, taught himself Jay's technique, and then came back to finish the song. These two respected each other a lot. They became really close. And Jay didn't mind that Biggie is dissing Pac on his records. Jay knew that he would get himself involved in the beef, but he didn't mind. He was actually encouraging Biggie to battle him, cause Big loved the competition. That's why he was always competing with people, to prove that he's the best. He even dissed Jay on his own song. He then mentioned the song Who Shot Ya while going back and forth with Jay.
Who shot your mouth ties like Sinatra?
This made Pac believe that Big and Jay are taunting him. Biggie was initially denying that Who Shot Ya was about Pac, but he mentioned it next to lines that seemed like they were aimed at Pac, and Pac believed that everything was said on purpose to provoke him.
Who shot your mouth ties like Sinatra? You think you mob? We the mob. Who shot your mouth ties like Sinatra? You think you mob? We the mob.
Pac wanted to be part of Shook's gang, the Mob Piru. He had an MOB tattoo on the back of his arm. Like explained in my King of New York video, Biggie was not only dissing Pac on here, but also Jay-Z. Some of these lines have double meanings behind them. Like when he tells Jay-Z to pass the safe, before he blazes the place. Basically robbing Jay-Z. He said something similar about Tupac's mother on the Get Money remix, which Puffy even put on the Stop Yappin' intro to this Pac.
Your mom, the actress, didn't want to show me the safe.
It's okay, she was home anyway. Come on.
Pass the safe before I blaze the place. And here's 6 shots just in case.
Here's 6 shots just in case. Pac was shot 5 times at the Quad Studios. Biggie is saying, I know you survived 5 shots and even bragged about it in your song. So here's 6 shots just in case. Let's see if you can survive again.
5 shots couldn't drop me, I took it and smiled. And here's 6 shots just in case. 5 shots couldn't drop me, I took it and smiled. And here's 6 shots just in case.
So yeah, the lines about the safe when he's robbing someone and the one about the 6 shots were definitely about Pac. But the part that people point out the most is the final line in verse 7, where Biggie responds to the whole thing about Pac sleeping with Faith, who at this point in time was pregnant with Biggie's baby.
If they have twins, you probably have 2.
At Terribly 28 said, LOL,
so he was
this guy
poking
is a
fun
liar,
at the
LOL.
possibility that Faith, who became pregnant between January and February 96,
go ahead and drop knowledge on me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm stop for. What are you lying about, bro? Go and drop for me.
2 shots. 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 2 shots.
Talking about the song reference.
At Terribly28 said, he didn't say nothing about PAC's MoMA.
Really? So that's not a real song? Or that's a fake song? Wait, damn. Oh shit, I don't want to know. We bet. Fuck.
In case. Let's see if you can survive again.
5 shots couldn't drop me, I took it and smiled. They hit 6 shots just in case. 5 shots couldn't drop me, I took it and smiled. They hit 6 shots just in case.
Maybe before that.
So yeah, the lines about the safe when he's robbing someone.
Oh, that's before that, I think.
Verses without writing anything down. From that point on, Biggie did everything in his head too. Biggie wanted to show him that he can do everything that Jay-Z can do on the mic. Every trick, every skill, every technique.
Yeah, he said
things
that
he practiced
made a line
for years.
About Pac MoMA,
As the king of New York, Biggie felt like he should be able to do that too. Knowing of these lines have double meanings behind them. Like when he tells Jay-Z, so it was their job to respond to all the disrespect from Tupac. Puff Daddy was supposed to produce the album and offered Joe a record deal. But he decided to start his own record label instead, signing artists like Big Pun, Cuban Link, and the group Terror Squad. According to Joe, the songs they recorded will probably never see the light of day. Jay-Z also tried to motivate Big to respond to Hit 'Em Up, and even offered to help him. But Biggie didn't want to add more fuel to the fire. And this would confuse people because he would always make conflicting statements about whether or not he's going to respond. Cause in interviews he was teasing diss tracks on his upcoming album Life After Death, telling people to stay tuned and that they can look forward to a response. But now he's telling his team to leave it be, making it clear that nobody is recording response records or else they're getting thrown off the group. Meaning both Junior Mafia with Lil Cease and Lil Kim, and also the Commission with Jay-Z and Charlie Baltimore. The entire team was ready to respond, but Big told them that he won't mess with them if they do.
Mafia wanted to do a song. You know, Kim wanted to do a song.
Even I was like, yo, let's go. Do something.
Big was like, yo, if any one of y'all doing response records, I'm not messing with you no more. Do not do that. That's not what we do.
He was like, nah, I know where this is going. I'm not gonna feed into that energy. That's not the sort of energy that I want.
Serious street cats would approach Big and express their disappointment in him for letting Pac slap him around like that. And he would tell them that Pac shall come say those things to his face. He wanted to have a serious talk with him. It was personal. Big had his pride too, so he did make songs going at him. A couple jabs here and there to show the world that he can take it there if he wanted to. That he's lyrically capable of defending himself and of doing just as much harm to Pac as he did to Big if he wanted to. But he really wanted to talk to him face to face. Cause this whole thing started because of a lack of communication. Pac built hate and resentment for him because he wouldn't come see him in prison. If they had talked it out while Pac was in prison, this whole beef wouldn't have happened. But Big had the world racing around him. And just like in the movie King of New York with the character Frank White, which was also Biggie's alias, he didn't want to see his friend locked up in a cage. That's why he didn't pay him a visit after he came out of prison.
How come you never came to see me?
I've never seen the movie.
I wanted to see you in a cage, man. Of course.
Big supposedly wanted to pay him a visit after his release from prison, but by that time it was already too late. He still hoped that he could talk it out with him, so Big's team was told to stay out of it. According to Fat Joe, people in New York were bumping Hit 'Em Up in front of Biggie to annoy him, walking around with a boombox blasting the song while Big is minding his own business. Haters in Biggie's territory.
That's fact, Puffy wouldn't let him go see him.
Damn, I know that shit. I know Puffy did. They be doing that shit in front of Biggie face though. No, y'all like that for real? But y'all ruthless or no, boy.
Blasting the song at full volume in an attempt to ruin Biggie's day. And this was New York. Now imagine what the situation would have been like in Pac's territory. It was hard for people from both sides to travel to the opposite coast without getting reminded of the beef. They were always getting into trouble, so they had to proceed with caution, especially now with the release of Hit 'Em Up. On June 10th, Tupac recorded the song Why You Turn On Me, in which he once again talked about Biggie stabbing him in the back.
Me and you, no closer to two, while drinking brew, she need, and anything it all come to me.
This right here is about Pac's relationship with Biggie prior to the beef. They were drinking and hanging out together all day, like the closest homies. Pac would give him anything he needed, reached out his hand to him every time he needed help or support, showed him how to dress, bought him clothes, gave him money, showed him how to become popular with girls, gave him the keys to his Jeep, and offered his home as a place for him to stay while he's in LA. After Biggie became famous, things started to change. To Pac, it seemed like Biggie forgot about him while he was locked up and short on cash. That's why he's asking him, "Did you think I'd die?" He chose not to cooperate with Pac when he was robbed and gunned down, and completely ignored him. Then he talks about not getting a single visit from him while he was in prison, saying that all his old homies, meaning Stretch and Biggie, were too busy now that his money is gone, cause he didn't have the money to bail himself out.
That's what I'm talking about right here. Somebody said something.
At Terribly 28 said, Big knew that's why Big couldn't go back at him.
Yeah. This is the verse I said. That's why I didn't watch All Eyes on Me. He said I got raped in jail. Picture that. But that's in the movie, right? All Eyes on Me. For the people who seen All Eyes on Me, right? I think I seen a snippet. That's why I haven't watched it yet. I seen that. I was like, I don't want to watch that shit. Y'all putting fake shit in there. Y'all ain't putting the real shit in there.
And he wasted most of his savings on lawyer fees, hoping that Biggie and Puffy would help him out, now that they have a successful label making millions. Cause Pac contributed to Biggie's success.
I never got a single visit, yet I carry on. All my old friends too busy, now my money gone.
The release of Hit 'Em Up came with a lot of negative press and criticism towards Tupac, accusing him of insulting and belittling an entire coast.
Said, no, he didn't get wrapped in that movie.
Okay.
With Puffy trying to unite all the major New York MCs to stay next to Biggie while he's doing this whole back and forth with Pac, Pac thought that he needs to show people that he doesn't have a problem with the East Coast, but everyone that's affiliated with his enemies, meaning those who diss him, look down on the West Coast, or are close to or part of the label Bad Boy or Dr. Dre's Aftermath Entertainment. The next thing he decided to do was to unite both coasts by cherry-picking artists on the East Coast he wants to be cool with and see on top, while continuing to battle the rest of the East Coast, those that chose Biggie's side in the war. And he wanted to accomplish this with the East Coast-West Coast collaboration album One Nation, which he started working on June 14th. He did songs with Black Moon, Smith & Wesson, OGC, Helter Skelter, Greg Nice from Nice and Smooth, The Loonies. He also did songs with Big Daddy Kane and wanted to work with the pioneer Melly Mel, who he wanted to sign to Death Row East. On Pac's last birthday, which was on June 16th, 1996, he was in the studio recording the One Nation album while making fun of Biggie and the rappers from the East Coast he didn't like.
We hear that you are involved with the murders of the East Coast rappers that we've been hearing about lately.
No, I got love for the East Coast. We just, I heard about one incident where this one guy, P.I.G. got hurt.
Figgy.
Yeah, I heard he got hurt. But as far as all the other East Coast rappers, I love them. Working on a new project called One Nation. It's going to be an East Coast, West Coast collaboration.
Said,
so
it ain't worth watching, though it have any influence by Puff and Snoop, so it's a lot that wasn't in the movie.
We're doing it with the real potential out there.
Okay.
So that we can make more extinct.
None of
the suckers.
Taking bits and parts
On June 18th, Pac was interviewed by Simon Rex for MTV at the Hollywood Athletic Club in LA. Same place where Pac and Faith met in October '95. Black Moon and Smith & Wesson were there too that night. During the interview, Pac talked about the One Nation album, which in his words was supposed to end the East Coast-West Coast beef, saying that it's only a feud between two rappers.
I got this new project coming out along with some other brothers called One Nation, and it's like an East Coast-West Coast collaboration to kill this whole new vibe everybody want to be on about it being a war between the East Coast and the West Coast. Right. It's really just a problem with two rappers.
They gotta do
we ain't
some
mad
part
at
with
the
it
whole
too.
spot of New York. We just mad at certain
make
people.
money off this shit. They ain't want this
On
shit
June
come
25th, Jay-Z's debut album Reasonable Doubt finally came out, containing the song Brooklyn's Finest and the lines against Pac. Around the same time, Puffy found out about Suge's relationship with his baby mama Misa Hilton. Wolf, the man Suge accused of shooting Big Jake, showed Puffy pictures of Suge and Misa Hilton together, which supposedly were in a Death Row Artist Press magazine at the time. Suge had his arm around Misa Hilton, while she had Puffy's 2-year-old son Justin in her arm. Not only was the photo itself disrespectful, but the caption made everything worse. It said, "The East Coast can't take care of their own, but what the East Coast won't take care of, the West Coast will." The ad, which was discussed on New York's Hot 97 by resident gossip Wendy Williams, never ran anywhere, but reps were tarnished nonetheless. Puffy was enraged and fuming when he saw those pictures. His ex-bodyguard Gene Deal said that he saw a vein come out of Puffy's forehead out of anger, and he also claimed that Puffy made a couple of phone calls later on, yelling and cussing people out. What the hell is Suge doing with my son? Is he trying to threaten me? They stayed up until the next morning because the situation was so heated. It was hard to calm him down. He tried calling Misa Hilton, but she didn't go on the phone. So he allegedly panicked, thinking Suge Knight had kidnapped his baby mama and son. On June 30th, Puffy was rushed to the emergency room of St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital in Upper Manhattan, where he was treated for a deep cut to his lower right arm. New York's Daily News called it a slit wrist, implying that it was more than just an accident, a possible attempt to take his own life. Puffy called the story nonsense. I was playing with my girl and I reached for a champagne glass and it broke on my bracelet, cutting my arm. I ain't trying to kill myself. I got problems, but it ain't that bad, Puffy said. The Death Row head of security, Reggie Wright, claims that Puffy panicked when he saw the pictures and when he heard about Suge taking Misa and her son Justin to LA. Puffy allegedly thought that Suge kidnapped them and tried to harm his son in retaliation for Big Jake's murder. On Hit 'Em Up, Pac had threatened Puffy and Biggie, saying that he'll make sure that their kids won't grow. And Puffy supposedly took those threats very seriously. Puffy's mother hysterically called the officers of Death Row to ask and beg them to return her grandson, meaning Puffy's firstborn, Justin Combs. She allegedly told them that Puffy tried to end his life by cutting his wrist while he was drunk, saying that he had a panic attack. They later denied it, saying that it was an accident. Misa Hilton wasn't on good terms with Puffy at the time, so she apparently laughed it off and said, "This BS N-word really tried to kill himself," while she was in LA with Suge, after Puffy's mother made that call begging them to send her grandbaby home. Misa was having a good time and sleeping around, while the father of her son had a mental breakdown, trying to take his own life. Misa then went back home after a week or two and the situation cooled down. They both had their fun on Puffy's expense. The damage was done, and Puffy hit a low point in terms of mental health and overall happiness. Pac and Suge were playing mind games, trying to drive him crazy, destroy him and everything he worked for. According to Gene Deal, that was the last straw and the point of no return for Diddy. When the legendary DJ Eric B, who was supposed to run Death Row East, wanted to have a meeting with Biggie, hoping to squash the East Coast-West Coast beef, Puffy didn't want any part of a truce meeting, even though months prior at the Source Awards, he was saying that the East Coast-West Coast beef needs to be stopped.
I'm the executive producer that a comment was made about a little bit earlier. But check this out. Contrary to what other people may feel, I would like to say that I'm very proud of Dr.
Larry
Dre,
Johnson N3
of Death Row, and Suge Knight
said,
for their accomplishments.
Sadly, you are on that commentator's ass. Keep that
Puffy
pressure on
wanted
him
revenge,
because you're
but
right.
didn't know how to get it without potentially ruining his business and reputation as a serious and noble label boss. In interviews, he was all positive and peaceful, made it seem like he's ready to just shake hands and end the beef. But behind the scenes, he was pulling strings, rejecting peacemaking efforts from people that are close to both sides or from leaders like Farrakhan, who are known to solve problems, squash beefs, and make peace. It was important for him to look like a saint to the public. He and Suge were polar opposites. Suge didn't care about getting labeled a villain, bully, tyrant, terrorist, gang member, or bad guy in general. Puffy always wanted to look like the good guy, even though he did a lot of bad things behind the scenes. Overall, he cared more about his public image. But his hatred for Suge and Pac made him do the unthinkable. One night, Puffy invited Eric Von Zip and Keefy D to come meet him at Greenblatt's Deli and Fine Wines on Sunset,
Faith went to
which
Pac,
is in LA.
she went to Suge grinning,
This was when Puffy was too scared of coming to LA, thinking he might get ambushed or confronted by Pyru members affiliated with Death Row. He was really scared of Suge after that incident at the Soul Train Awards where he ran for his life. He saw how many people Suge had with him and was intimidated by their presence. Puff wasn't used to seeing that many gang members on one spot, and that's why he got the support of the Southside Crips, who were the rivals of the mob Pyrus. He wanted to increase the friction between both camps. He wanted to start a gang war in LA while sitting back and watching from a distance. And the Southsiders were also protecting him every time he came to LA. He didn't pay them or hire them as security guards, but always bought them tickets to all his shows, so that they can sit right next to him, making it look like Puff had the Crips on his side,
Larry Johnson
and thus
N3
scaring away or at least trying to intimidate other gang members.
In the chat and only
He also
17
wanted the
likes. Y'all
Southside
some real
Crips to
goofies.
take
If you
care
don't
of
hit
Pac
that
and
like button, let's
Suge,
get
according
these
to
likes
Keefy D
up.
himself. Again, Keefy D was one of the 4 people in the car from which they shot Tupac in Las Vegas. And according to him, this meeting at Greenblatt's Deli and Fine Wines in LA was one of the key reasons why they came after them. Puffy waved them over to speak to him in private. I have a couple of problems I need to be handled. Big CEO and Pac. He was worried about his business and safety, because Pac was the biggest rapper on the planet at the time, crushing everything that Puff, Biggie and Bad Boy had built up since Pac got shot the first time in New York and while he was in prison. Biggie had no clue about Puffy reaching out to the Southsiders. Puff did that all by himself. I want to get them dudes, Puffy said. Man, we'll wipe their ass out real quick. It's nothing. Consider that done. Puffy said he'd offer him $1 million.
Fuck with me, I drop $1 million on your head. Race you in your home.
Larry Johnson N3 said, Sadly, and I believe Diddy gassed up Faith to go Tupac. That's just my opinion.
Fuck with me, I drop $1 million on your head. Race you in your home.
Keefy D looked him in his eyes and without hesitation responded, "That's not a problem. We can make that happen." According to Keefy D, an agreement was made that day. But as always, Puffy put things into people's heads that appear like an agreement or a promise, convincing you. On August 2nd, Pac recorded the song Catchin' Feelings, which contains more jabs at Biggie, clowning him for still not having the courage to respond properly. Implying that Big should have thought twice before crossing him, saying that he's afraid of him, while Pac himself is fearless, cause he is the one that everybody is scared of. They are terrified of his presence. Not even the King of New York has enough courage to face him. Talking about the song Hit 'Em Up, which completely silenced him. 2 months have passed and there's still no response. Now Pac is making songs every couple weeks, making fun of Biggie for being as quiet as a church mouse ever since he released.
Said, I don't think that I think so did that on her own. She knew that if she messed with his friend that would crush him.
Yeah, she knew the hell she doing. She knew the fuck she doing. She knew the fuck she doing. Snoop Dogg, fuck Snoop Dogg, bro. I say that shit probably, bro. That motherfucker ain't worth the fuck, bro. He knew the fuck going on. Like I was saying, like my thing is, he had to know them Crips was on Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Hit out for Diddy and shit. From Diddy and shit. So he a Crip. So why you didn't try to
At Larry Johnson N3,
you know what I'm saying? Squash the shit
said,
between them. You know what I'm saying?
I can respect that too.
He's the song Hit 'Em Up. On August 4th, Pac recorded the outro to his song Toss It Up, in which he's once again dissing Lil' Kim, Biggie, and Puffy.
I can't wait. That's why Tupac mad. I mean, Snoop Dogg mad. He almost I think he did some Tupac
asking
songs.
people how non-players like Biggie can make player songs like Big Papa, One More Chance, and Players Anthem. There are multiple vocal tracks overlapping in the outro, so it's a little hard to hear what he's saying. He's addressing multiple topics at once.
Big hated the fact that all of it was going on. He loved Tupac and everybody from the West that he had known. He loved them.
That homeboy's always been his ass.
Talking about Puffy's numerous attempts to squash the beef, Pac is saying that he doesn't want peace and that it's time for war, making fun of them for having lower record sales.
At Terribly 28, said,
on August 12th, Pac and Shook decided to do a video for the song Toss It Up, the lead singer to his next album, Illuminati. The location for the video was a beach. There's footage of them joking about sleeping with Biggie's wife.
But don't Snoop Dogg own Death Row though? I don't know how this shit go. My pay.
Big hair. Okay, but I did you for you, but I did you. You told me
at Terribly 28.
Earlier that day, he recorded the song Just Like Daddy, in which he once again dissed Stretch, who again tried.
My bad, I'm sorry, I keep stopping you. You see how Diddy is now? Been in years, he like to be #1, bro. He's obsessed with being #1. He know Tupac he had to get Tupac the way to be #1. Then you know, goddamn, what's called? He probably knew Twin. He was gonna leave. He was gonna leave.
At Larry Johnson N3 said, "Yes, does know a lot of S, and that's why him and Snoop Dogg don't see eye to eye right now, and they are cousins. And you're right, does love Tupac."
I know, man. Fuck it. Damn, put that shit out though, man. Expose that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? The world need to hear, man. The world need to hear. You know what I'm saying? Put that shit out, bro.
At Terribly 28 said, he thought he was going to GEPAC's catalog, but he couldn't.
He thought he was gonna get Tupac catalog, but he couldn't. Why he cannot? Why he can't get it? I think if Puffy die, Diddy die, that's when we gonna find out. We finally gonna find out the real. Well, we can find out truth now, but the real truth. That when people ain't gonna be scared to come out and say it. Ain't gonna be seeing motherfucking cockroaches come out of the goddamn woodwork. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna
tell their story. With Pac's ex-girlfriend Desiree Smith by pretending to relay messages for him from prison, while Pac was locked up in '95, pretending to still be in touch with him even though he never came to visit him in prison. Desiree Smith then informed Pac about this incident, and Pac mentioned it in the song Just Like Daddy, which was dedicated to Desiree.
At Larry Johnson N3.
A day later, on August 13th, Pac and the Outlaws recorded the song Runnin' on E, on which he dissed the Bad Boy Camp in the hook.
If you a bad boy, then you ride. They fucked up when they robbed me, put another contract on Mob D.
On August 22nd, Biggie was interviewed by Uncle Luke at Little Caesar's birthday party at a club. He was asked about the Tupac situation, to which Biggie responded that he ain't mad at him for trying to make money by all means necessary, and that they'll eventually see each other.
Weird man, that man has a god complex.
We all trying to be rich niggas, man, you know what I'm saying? That man doing what he gotta do, and I'm gonna do what I gotta do, you know what I'm saying? Plain and simple. When we see each other, we gonna see each other. Until then, I'm gonna make good music, and he gonna make whatever he make. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
He going for you.
I want to be an entrepreneur.
At Terribly
I want to be $1
28
million, man.
said,
He also added that Pac wouldn't have dissed him if he was broke, implying that he's only dissing him because he's rich and on top of the game.
At the end of the day, it's all about that motherfucking money. If I was a broke motherfucker, he wouldn't have nothing to say about right.
At Terribly
So
28
what you guys have to say about
said,
that, LC? I ain't got nothing to say
some
about
white
the dude,
people-
man. We're going to do our thing. Let him keep yapping about us. He going to help us make some money. That's it.
Yep, same too.
Tupac did an interview as well 2 days later on August 24th. It was with Rob Marriott. And he once again spoke about Biggie, explaining how much he did for him before the fame, and how much Biggie learned from him.
When I was involved with Biggie's success, I was Biggie's help. I was true. I don't like his rhymes, but you know how much he borrowed from me. He know how I used to stop my shows, let him touch the show, let him blow up and do his whole show in the middle of my show. How I used to buy his and give him and never ask for that. How I used to share. How I used to share my experiences in the game and my lessons and my rules and my knowledge on the game with him. You know what I mean? He owed me more. He owed me more than to turn his head and act like he didn't know he was about to blow my head off. He knew.
He then talks about how Biggie acted like a quote-unquote mouse in front of him, acting like he can't help him out after the shooting, can't tell him who did it, but then later claiming to be the king of New York, the Don, the guy that holds the entire rap game in a chokehold, while forgetting about his mentor and teacher Tupac, who for once asked for something in return after all the things he did for him.
You all mouse, be a mouse. But for me to know, like 3 weeks ago this happened, and then 3 weeks later your album coming out, and you are fucking done in your album.
And
But you don't know what shot you just fucking old
9381
it's from your neighborhood,
said,
and I gotta find out about
all that
myself,
money
and,
just
and I don't even call
Biggie's
myself a
ST
John.
demon, face with tears
From the
of
west
joy,
side,
face
I'm on
with
the east
tears
side
of
of jail, and I
joy.
know who touched me, and I know everything that happened. That's
what's the dude name?
And he didn't know, so he was fake. And I was mad about it.
And then he talks about how people believed his fake player image, which revolutionized the rap game. All of a sudden, everybody wanted to become a player just like Biggie, after seeing him on top. And they forgot that Tupac was the originator of that style, the one Biggie learned it from. The true player Biggie wanted to be like, according to Pac.
And then I'm out of jail, and I couldn't believe that everybody was treating Biggie like the biggest star in the world. I couldn't believe that people were buying into the player image, and I wanted to bring back that reality. Nobody can never be confused and think I'm Mike Tyson and I'm a heavyweight champion. I'm a little. That's why it's so raw to watch me just battle lions, because I'm a little skinny, battling 3 times my size. But Biggie's not a player. He's never been. He's never had until he got some feet already. That's a trick. That's not a player. It's not a pop-up. So my point was to prove him wrong. I took everything that he glamorized and I personified it. Right.
He also explained why he believes that Big ain't responding, saying that Biggie knows that everything about Pac is real. I mean, he always called him the realest guy in the industry. That's the reason why he even admired him so much and tried to be like him. The same thing that he admired is now coming to haunt him. Biggie has to compete with that same level of realness he always admired. And according to Pac, he can't keep up with him, as you can't beat realness with fakeness. That's why Biggie couldn't respond according to Pac.
So I know what people think, and I know it. The same thing they love about me, they gotta admire, and but they forgot. Biggie forgot that same shit that made him want to kick it with me. It's the same shit that's whooping his ass right now. And that's why when he talks, you can hear it in the interviews. He want to say, "I wish I could take this shit back," but he can't. He already committed himself to lying. So now all he can do is act like he don't know what the fuck is going on. And listen to it. Think, you have to think. That's it. This is happening for real. Would this be your reaction unless you was guilty?
He also talked about Biggie saying that the reason why he ain't responding to the diss track Hit 'Em Up is because his friends and people around him told him that the song ain't worth responding to. Cause in the September 96 issue of the Vibe magazine, Biggie said, the whole reason why I was being cool from day one was because of that guy Puff. Cause Puff don't get down like that. He got the streets riled up because he got a little song dissing me.
Go watch
but
that
how would I look
when
dissing
you get
him
off
back?
Of this.
My people is like, F that guy. That guy is so much on your D. It don't even make no sense to say anything.
We appreciate that.
This is interesting because everybody around Biggie, including Junior Mafia, Jay-Z, and the Lox, said that Biggie told him that he won't respond, and that nobody is making diss records. Maybe Puffy spoke to him while he was in a state of confusion, not knowing what to do, advising him to not respond and to just focus on the music.
I had to make the call to Biggie, and I said, we're not gonna respond. Somebody's gonna get hurt if we respond, because Tupac hit us with "Hit 'Em Up," and that joint was cold. We would take your turntables, you played "Hit 'Em Up." You know what I'm saying? That's how cold that thing hurt to this day.
I told Big not to respond, so I could understand, because what Big had written,
You called it out,
for
bro.
them, like
You
somebody
called it
was
out.
going, it was going to get as bad as it got. No, he didn't record it. He let me know what it was going to be saying, and it was just
At
it was
Terribly
just too
28.
much, Sometimes things
was
is
leaving
just like
Bad
just
Boy.
too
They
much.
was giving a record
Pac
label
pointed
deal
out
with
how the King of New York all of a sudden became a follower, doing what the people who were supposed to be his followers were telling him, instead of making his own decisions and making them follow him, implying that Biggie's team shouldn't have the authority to stop Biggie from making response records.
That's how you really got
And all
Biggie
that
off
shit
the
my mom would tell me,
Well, you getting Biggie,
said that. All my friends telling me that. Oh, so you're following that. So you're following that? Why didn't your homeboy tell you not to make rhymes when you shooting pregnant babies in the stomach? You know what I mean? That's why, like, why'd you say that at the end of your record? You was like, how they kids won't grow, boom, boom. Honestly, I didn't write none of that shit. I didn't write nothing. I'm blowing up on the studio to keep me from really killing me. And that's what came out. But I don't have no mercy in war. They didn't have no mercy. They tried to shoot my fucking balls off. What about my kids?
He then explains
At
how
Terribly
Biggie was
28.
able to take over the game while he was locked up,
You know he lying
even though he
'cause he was all
quote-unquote
in the
only sold 2
background of
million
big
albums,
songs dissing
saying
Pac.
that Death Row wasn't in a good place at the time and that Biggie had it easy. He also explained why he had to go at Biggie, arguing that you always have to go against the one at the top if you want to be the number one, the one that's able to dictate who's successful in the game, by controlling the media, radio stations, and by being well connected in the industry. So that's why only people in Biggie's camp were succeeding, because Big was in full control. In order for Pac to get his spot back, he had to take down the number one, so that he's in charge and can build up his empire.
I said it in the beginning that I was going to take these out the game, and sure enough, I will. Already people can't look at Biggie and not laugh. I took every piece of his power. Biggie is 3 times bigger than me, and everybody sympathizing with him. They acting like I'm bullying him. He's 3 times bigger than me, and I'm asking this to have a fight. All I want to do is take them to where I was when they didn't want to support me. And anybody that try to help them, I will destroy. Whether it's whoever it is, I will destroy. That's what I'm doing. Everybody that try to side with him, that do a record with him, that try to unify with him, I'm going to destroy. I swear to God. Can't nobody touch me right now. Maybe next month, all of this will be over. But this month, I'm taking every moving target out. Because this is a very personal thing for me, and I feel like people should have given me my respect. Y'all know I was not like this before. I did not attack people. I was not on no East Coast, West Coast. I was the major bridge between the East Coast and the West Coast. So this is very serious. Like if America sent an ambassador to Iran and he just murdered, Iran got problems, and Iran should know that. And that's what I think about New York. They should know that. Separate yourself from this, and that's what's going to show. And they already do it. I got kids out there now. I took over his kingdom. Not took it over, but it's still in New York.
by Zillindella
They like my record ain't selling in New York. And without New York, I outsold.
Yeah,
You know what I
indeed,
mean?
them rappers that have been defending Diddy after that 50 Doka series, yeah, they have been through something with that freaky's ST demon, especially Fabulous. How the fuck you let a nigga call you daddy face with tears of joy?
Oh my God!
At Terribly 20 said, LOL, I bet he took Snoop shopping, LOL.
Braid his motherfucking hair.
Oh my God!
At Larry Johnson N3.
This is race. If I lost New York, I won the other 49.
Terribly
And
facts,
that makes me
rolling on the
trouble.
floor,
Now,
laughing, rolling on the floor, laughing,
That's
rolling
why I'm
on
telling
the
you,
floor,
when I
laughing,
be big,
rolling
it's not
on
going
the
to be like
floor,
we're going to attack
laughing.
him every time. I might be in a good mood, and I might not want to be going. This is
Say West Side, Snoop. Say West Side.
so minor. This is not about me and Biggie. Everybody keep talking about it. Y'all making this bigger than he is.
The rest of the interview with Rob Marriott was in the September 96 issue of the Vibe magazine, which featured Biggie and Puffy on the cover, with the headline East vs. West. Biggie and Puffy break their silence. Pac spoke about Puffy's comments in the Vibe magazine, where he responded to Pac's comment of Thug Life being dead, saying that he really hopes that Thug Life is over, and that you have to live and die a thug, or else you're not a real thug, criticizing Pac for trying to step out of thugism. I lived and almost died for Thug Life. And after that Vibe article, people said, Tupac, I thought Thug Life was dead. Yeah, but read the rest of the article.
He did a Meek
Puffy
Mills to
in
him
that letter in the
grinning,
Vibe gave me some advice that brought me back to the Thug Life age. He said you can't be a thug for a second or a minute and get in and out of it. You gotta be in it forever. He didn't mean it as a toss at the time. He said it to dampen things. So now when I'm whooping this mother effing ass and it hurts, and all these people talking about stop now, remember what he told me. These words came out of his mouth. Like mentioned earlier, Biggie and Puffy broke their silence on Tupac, Death Row, and all the East-West friction in the cover story of the same magazine issue in which they included the Tupac interview with Rod Marriott. Puffy said, I'm hurt a little bit spiritually by all the negativity, by this whole Death Row bad boy-ish. I'm hurt that out of all my accomplishments, it's like I'm always getting my most fame from negative drama. How it got to this point, I really don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out. Why would I set a guy up to get shots? If I'ma set a guy up, which I would never do, I ain't gonna be in the country. I'ma be in Bolivia somewhere. This was said in response to Pac claiming that Puffy and Biggie set him up at the Quad Studios. He's telling Pac that he's barking up the wrong tree. He ain't mad at the guys that shot him. He knows where they're at. He knows who shot him. If you ask him, he knows. And everybody in the street knows. And he's not stepping to them. Because he knows that he's not gonna get away with that ish. To me, that's some real sucker ish. Be mad at everybody, man. Don't be using people as scapegoats. We know that he's a nice guy from New York. All ish aside, Tupac is a nice, good-hearted guy. This part right here, everybody in the street knows, is confirmation by Puffy that they all knew who shot him and set him up. And that was Pac's problem with them all along. None of them wanted to tell him, but somehow everybody knew. They told everybody in the streets who did it, but didn't tell Pac. Pac was upset that his old friends didn't see the issue in them telling everybody in the streets what happened and who did it, except the victim. They withheld information from him, but told everybody else, as if they're picking Jimmy Henchman's side. They still continued their relationship with Jimmy as if nothing happened. And Pac saying he's not stepping to them because he knows he's not getting away with that ish, while still being cool with the people who did it, confirmed Pac's whole point. They're not distancing themselves from Jimmy and always talk highly of him while belittling Tupac, telling Pac to stay in his lane and that he's not ready for a powerful guy like Jimmy, that he wouldn't get away with it if he ever decided to step to them.
Just remember what you told me. You said don't go to war unless I got my money right. I got my money right. Now I want war.
Biggie, on the other hand, took a whole different approach. He sounded way more genuine and good-hearted. You can see that he really cared for him, and that he wasn't involved. I'm still thinking this guy...
Stop the cap. I gotta get to start the cap. Next stream, we're gonna get to start the cap because these motherfuckers be capping sometimes. If you really care for why you still didn't went and go talk to that man. You would have cared for me when I went in jail, you would have came down that motherfucker. I don't hear nothing yet.
Is my man. This ish just got to be talk. That's all I kept saying to myself. I can't believe he would think that I would ish on him like that. Honestly, I didn't have no problem with the guy. He can't front on me. As much as he may come off as some Biggie hater, he knows. He knows when all this ish was going down, I was schooling him to certain things. Me and Stretch, God bless the grave. But he chose to do things he wanted to do. There wasn't nothing I could do. But it wasn't like he wasn't my man. And Biggie had a point. He always saw Pac as his big brother. This whole beef wouldn't have happened if Pac wasn't such a hothead. Biggie may have missed out on opportunities to help him while he was in prison, but that doesn't justify all the things Pac did afterwards, like the whole thing with his wife. Pac should have been more patient, and Biggie should have made more of an effort to reach out to him, especially after putting out the song Who Shot Ya and then reading Pac's comments in the Vibe magazine. Biggie had the world racing around him with his sudden rise to fame, and he had his own personal issues to deal with. Pac should have been a little more understanding.
Said Jimmy Henchman.
But then again, while he was in prison, he was fed false information by his loved ones. Like his cousin hearing King Tut brag about shooting Tupac and being homies with Biggie,
I asked what happened to him.
which later turned out to be complete nonsense. King Tut was not involved in the Quad Studio shooting, and neither was Biggie, which means that Pac was in the wrong for doing what he did. He slept with the wife of someone he considered his little brother, stabbing Biggie in the back while having a completely false image of him, fighting a version of Biggie that doesn't even exist. He should have directed his anger at Puffy. But then again, it's very easy to say what people should have done 30 plus years ago, when we have access to all the information and they didn't. Things were different back then. If the mother effer really did F Faye, that's foul how he's blowing her like that. Never once did he say that Faye did some foul ish to him. If Honey was to give you that pussy, why would you disrespect her like that? If you had beef with me, you're like, boom, I'ma F his wife.
Said,
would you be so harsh on her?
Who shot you when
like
Pac was
you got
down,
beef
he
with her?
started that.
That ish doesn't make sense. That's why I don't believe it. To the question if Puffy believes that he's in physical danger because of Death Row's intimidating reputation, Puffy answered, I never knew of my life being in danger. I'm not saying that I'm ignorant to the rumors, but if you got a problem and somebody wants to get your ass, they don't talk about it. What it's been right now is a lot of movie making and a lot of entertainment drama. Bad boys move in silence. If somebody wants to get your ass, you're gonna wake up in heaven. There ain't no record gonna be made about it. It ain't gonna be no interviews. It's gonna be straight up, oh, ish. Where am I?
Let me ask you,
What are these wings on my back?
Let me ask you this. Do you really think Pac did or he?
Your name is Jesus Christ?
I mean, hearing this all. Do
y'all really
think Pac did or he
said,
got down over
Big
there in
didn't
Cuba?
straighten everything out after that he could have.
So do y'all think Pac faked his death and he over there in Cuba? Or he really gone? What y'all think? Before I started back.
At Terribly 28 said, Puffy played tough.
He played tough? Yeah, he played tough, but hiding under the car is crazy. Like, they motherfuckers think he hard as shit, bro. That was they needed me back then.
At Terribly 28 said, LOL, he dead.
He dead. Okay, we got one that think dead. What y'all think, chat? We got 55 people here. Come on. What y'all think? Y'all think dead or he got down? Faked his death. Me personally, I hope he did. Like, faked his death and just living a peaceful life. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think.
When you're involved in some real-ish, it's gonna be some real-ish. But ain't no man gonna make me act the way that I don't want to act. Or make me be something I'm not.
You hear what this guy is playing, he said.
So why y'all gonna tell me to stop acting like a gangster? I'm trying to be an intelligent black man. I don't give a F if you people think that's corny or not. If anybody comes and touches me, I'm going to defend myself. But I'ma be me. A young guy who came up making music, trying to put people on, handle his business,
I just came back
and make
I
some
missed
history.
who we talking about.
In this interview, Puffy may have hinted that he gave the green light to have Pac and Shook handled. Like he said on the Bad Boy Volume 4 mixtape. His response to hit him up is Bad Boys Move in Silence. And now he's explaining the meaning of Bad Boys Move in Silence. There won't be no response records. You're gonna wake up in heaven. And this is unfortunately what's happened the same month the interview came out. I'm ready for it to come to a head. However, it gotta go down. I'm ready for it to be out of my life and be over with. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I just hope it can end quick and in a positive way. Because it's gotten out of hand.
28
in the September 96 issue of the Source magazine, Suge Knight offered to stage a pay-per-view boxing event featuring bouts between Bad Boy and Death Row artists. A boxing match between him and Biggie, and also between Pac and Puffy, as those would be the right weight classes for both fights. Let's put up a ring, throw the gloves on and fight. Puffy, get your mother effing ass in the ring and fight Tupac. Look at Puffy's body.
Even after this, we're gonna do more like
Zillindella 9381 said,
so let me know what
Diddy
y'all
is
want
just a freaky's SD demon that is insecure around real men, that's why he be acting weird every damn time. At Larry Johnson N3E said, Miami what it do, I'm a Florida boy myself.
Shout out to Florida, man.
Another one.
Give me a hell yeah. What?
Appreciate you. Coming in, man.
What?
Yeah, but let me know what y'all want to do next. Like, we'll do, like, NWA, Jay-Z and them now.
At Larry Johnson N3E said, I ain't going to lie, it's 50-50ths with me with Tupac being dead, that's just my opinion, no disrespect.
Yeah. Cause you don't never know, like, really, like, cause I growing up, they were saying he in Cuba. Motherfuckers had facts. Somebody he had a duplicate body, and the body on the table when he had like missing tattoos he supposed to have and shit.
Who can you whoop? How you gonna talk ish and be in a little boy's body?
We looked on last stream. They were talking about how he got cut up. They was cutting him open and shit. Them doctors tried to kill that motherfucker, but they made sure he didn't live.
And I'll beat Biggie's ass all over the ring. We can do it in Las Vegas and give the money to the ghetto, not charity organizations which don't mean a mother effing thing. Take it straight to the ghetto and build swings, parks, and buy food in it.
28
On September 4th, the Death Row family flew to New York to attend the 96 MTV Music Awards, showing New Yorkers that they're not afraid of coming to the East Coast during the height of the East-West War, after telling everyone from New York.
I hope his trial coming up like August the 10th. I think August the 10th. Somebody last check told me it's August 10th. His trial come. I hope he dropped the whole bomb. I hope we get Diddy, bro. I hope we gonna stream that live.
At Larry Johnson N3E
I'll make sure I
said,
that shit live.
That they're ready for drama.
To lie, I don't think he's capping.
Nah, he at this damn point, he 30 years later.
At
Biggie, Puffy, and the Bad Boy crew did not attend the awards, even though they were held in their own city. The awards took place in New York, but they did not feel safe. The Death Row entourage had dozens of security guards with them. The reason why Puffy and Biggie did not attend is because they were afraid that Pac would once again attack them like at the Soul Train Awards 6 months prior, where they pulled guns on each other.
We are businessmen. We are not animals. It's not like we're going to see them and rush them and jump on them. If they see us and they want the drama, we're going to definitely bring it like only Death Row.
He capping, they didn't do it. He knows who did, though.
This one, I don't know why Tupac didn't never look at him at this time. You should have knew he wasn't with you. Look at this. This is like somebody going to ride with you. Look how you looking.
Could bring it, but we here as businessmen to enjoy and support the Video Music Awards for MTV because they support us. So if they want to come and use this business opportunity to get on some gangster, we do that better than anybody.
He made clear that they're not going to jump each other like wild animals once they see each other, saying that they're businessmen who came here to show love and support. But he made clear that there's no interest in working with him.
When it all goes down, don't look at me and Biggie and be like, why is there a big East Coast, West Coast war when you're shooting this to 300 homes, 300 countries, telling them about an East Coast, West Coast war that they would never know exists.
If it did exist, Pop wouldn't be here. So.
Right.
I heard that too, and I heard Snoop acting like this because Tupac fucked one of his girls, something like that. That's what I've been hearing. Tupac fucked one of his girls, he felt some type of way about it. I don't know if that's true or false.
If it exists, how we gonna be sitting in New York talking about it? We're trying to be better role models, and y'all trying to stop putting that drama out there. You got a lot of power, a lot of responsibility. We both do. We both need to exercise greater restraint.
Pac did another interview later that night at the MTV after party, 10 minutes before he ran into Nas. He promoted the new label Death Row East, while saying that with their strength in numbers and by them coming to New York, they're proving that there's no fear and that they're about to overthrow all the labels on the East Coast.
Ain't no other record company out there that sold as many records as we did. We all so bad.
Facts 2. Adams by Zillandella 9381 said, even the CIA wanted Pac gone. That man was a menace. He spoke truth when he really wanted to. He was going against the industry at the end. At Terribly 28 said, Pac took his main girl.
Damn. But yeah, I think should knew about the hit because I think in the interview that when he put them hit out on the chains and shit, And they, I think somebody from them Perus or
At Larry Johnson N3E
almost got one of the chain snakes.
Man, I remember that like it was yesterday. It was all on the radio. Tupac is fine, he is going to live, and then not an hour later he was dead. That was some strange. I find that odd.
I bet everybody was crying that goddamn day.
At MIAMITHABANDIT said, Pac shot 2 cops.
That's why I fought with Pac forever. He can't do no wrong with my ass. I don't care. Nobody say he can't do no wrong with my ass. Cause you know who you know, black brother is gonna shoot
at MIAMITHABANDIT.
You know what I mean?
Said, they was undercover. At Larry Johnson N3E said, Snoop Dogg looks suspect as fuck. What a piece of s. That pictures tells it all. Yeah, that fuck boy knew what was going on. They tried to kill him but didn't succeed. That's what I believe.
Yeah, and y'all already 28 with Biggie. Said, you think them boy didn't want to tell him?
You know they did. They said Vegas was full of cameras and cops, so it was no way that the car got away.
Yeah, a year later, y'all just now find out who all was in the car and shit. Like, yeah, shit.
That boy, LaFace, every black.
I think they already knew who the people were, but they just gonna sweep it on the rug. But what the key dude, he kept talking about this shit in interviews and shit. They were like, shit, eventually we gonna have to goddamn do something about your ass, cause you just running your mouth too much. That's what I think.
Record label out there, we outsold them in 1 year. So Death Row East is gonna be a personification of what we did on the West Side. We're gonna do it to the East Side, and we're gonna prove once and for all that all these people talking about an East Coast West Coast war, they like the Judas was to Jesus. They only here to cause confusion. We here to bring money and to bring change. They here to cause confusion. All these weak rappers, Nas, all these suckers, they battling off of East and West like this is a game. This ain't no game. If this was chess, we'd be yelling checkmate 3 years ago, because we've been beat these. It's not a game. By strength and numbers, we coming to the East Coast to prove there is no fear, there is no problem, there ain't nothing but opportunity. And the opportunity is overthrow the government y'all got right now, which is Bad Boy and Nas and all that bullshit, and we will bring a new government here that will feed every person in New York.
10 minutes later, he clashed with Nas, and they squashed the beef. Told him to meet him in Las Vegas the following weekend. Pac, Suge, and Snoop stayed in New York the following day, where Pac got into a fight with basically everyone. Snoop did an interview with Angie Martinez on September 5th in New York. When asked how he feels about Biggie and Puffy, he said, I'm cool with them. I want to do some music with them. I want to work with them. This is interesting because the night before, when he was with Pac, he agreed that there's no interest in working with them.
Can you envision a day when, y'all, if not, get together and make an album, just peacefully coexist?
There's no dream of making an album with Biggie and Puffy, or none of them. We're not sweating it like that. We peacefully coexist right now because we all cool. Everybody's here. They sell records. We sell records. Well, I guess you could call that selling records. What they do. We sell large amounts of records, and they sell a few records. And really, there's no competition. People are really making too much out of it.
Snoop supposedly started hanging out with Biggie after the New York video shoot. And according to the Death Row head of security, Reggie Wright, it caused a label internal beef between him and Suge in spring '96. But the conflict had cooled down a bit until that interview. Now Pac, Suge, and the Mob Peru were mad at Snoop for making those comments. Because the Crips on Death Row didn't really want to be part of the whole Bad Boy Death Row beef. Suge and Pac wanted Death Row to look like one big family that moves as a collective. They didn't want their enemies to know that there's a divide within their camp, because it looked like Biggie had to go up against Pac, Snoop, the Dog Pound, and every artist on Death Row. But with those comments, Snoop confirmed that it's only Pac, and it seemed like everyone else on the label turned their backs on him and let him fight Biggie on his own. That it was only one hothead on the label that had a problem with him. And this made Pac appear less influential and powerful. So of course he was mad at him. And according to Reggie Wright Jr., he was ranting about it for hours. One of the security guards saw Pac hit the top of the limo saying, I'm a dead man now, I'm a dead man now. They know we're not family. They know we're not one. When Pac met Suge at the hotel, he told him what he's going to do with him when he sees him. He was furious. He tried to use the Outlaws to lure Snoop into a trap, asking him to bring him some weed. Pac wanted to corner him and beat him up. There's also people saying that he wanted to leave Death Row. but he probably only said it in the heat of the moment.
That Orlando
Later that
able
day,
to do that
Tupac,
as
the Outlaw, Shook, and the Death Row family went to a club in New York. Everything was fine until the DJ started playing Biggie.
I think I'm gonna stop it right here, Chet. Stop it right here. Damn, it's 2 in the morning. I know you the motherfucking man. But I'm gonna stop it right here. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be on 1 p.m. Eastern. I don't know where all y'all from, but I'm gonna be on. We're gonna continue this 1 p.m. later on. We're really in a couple hours though. But I do appreciate everybody coming through, liking the stream, everything. So y'all make sure y'all come support me at 1 p.m. man.
Said, this thing is too deep, like what if Pac was assassinated by CIA type, cause we all know these cops can find assassins but they choose to not go after them. At Larry Johnson N3 said, don't forget Diddy is a Fed, that boy works for that organization, so anything that was involved in him connected to the murders, it was not coming out at that time.
Yeah, he definitely get away with that shit. Yo. But tomorrow 1 p.m. we're gonna continue this, and we might get on the Nas and all that shit though. But I appreciate everybody. Y'all gave me a lot of knowledge today, bro.
Said, okay, good look, take care, family.
Yeah.
At Sibley 28 said, I'm in the Carolinas, I'll be back in this.
Yeah, I'm in the Carolinas too. I'm South Carolina around here. Yeah, I'm at. I'm probably you in the north. I'm Greenville, baby. But I definitely be on 1 p.m. Eastern, bro. After I go to the jail, I'm coming right back to the stream. We're going to do a long stream. So, y'all, we're going to get all of the documentaries we're going to try to find. Y'all come in, drop some more knowledge of me. I just learned a lot today. I appreciate everybody. I appreciate y'all. Y'all don't even know.
At Larry Johnson N3 said,
South Carolina, man.
Shout out to Carolina.
Hey.
At Sibley 28 said, South.
Hey, I'm trying to make it out of South Carolina, man. I can't do nothing without y'all.
At Sibley 28
Rock Hill?
said,
I'm from Greenville.
Rock Hill.
I'm Greenville. It's crazy how we all come together, right? That's it. Stay together, my brother. I appreciate y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Well, later on today. Really later on today.
Please don't take me out the gal.
Thank y'all so much.
I ain't gonna kill you,
man.
We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys.
Subscribe to the channel, man.
Even if you is a fat phone.
Please don't take me out the gal.
Thank y'all so much.
I ain't gonna kill you. We was homeboys once, pig. Once we homeboys, we always homeboys. Even if you is a fat phone.
Please don't